players present. Both know the dream. Many will play the final football game of their lives this afternoon. Lifetimes will pass with the haunting sting of defeat, while others will leave with the ultimate reward for summer vacation sacrifice. Today in Three River Stadium, only 4 teams leave with that satisfaction. Fox Sports Pittsburgh brings you the dream next.
The sun kissed Pittsburgh awake this morning. And it's not just any Saturday morning in the Burgh. It is a very special championship Saturday as moms and dads and aunts and uncles and friends and neighbors come from all around the area to Three River Stadium for all of the football championships that will be held here today. And we'll have each and every one of them for you live here on Fox Sports Pittsburgh. Good morning, everyone. I'm Keith James, and it's going to be a long and, I guarantee you, a most interesting day of football here on Fox Sports. Not 1, not 2, 3, not even, no, 4 high school football playoff games. The Class A championship coming up in just a couple of moments between Farrell and Riverview. All the way through the game this evening, the big one between North Allegheny and Woodland Hills. We'll have, of course, the tears of the losers and also the smiles and joy of the winners. We will have the big plays. We'll have the fans. We'll have the fun and the pageantry here on Fox Sports Pittsburgh. We trust that you'll stay with us. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. We'll go up to our broadcast booth and join our play-by-play team, Sean Doherty, Bill Fontana, and Neil Gordon, all coming up here on Fox Sports Championship Saturday.
Home team's Fox attitude. You're watching Fox Sports Pittsburgh.
It should be a great start to what might be the biggest day of high school sports anywhere. Back at Three River Stadium, my name is Sean Doherty, and I'm here with Penny Hills High School coach Neil Gordon and Bill Fontana, Mr. Friday Night from the Beaver Valley. Neil, should be a heck of a ball game.
Well, I look to see a track meet right off the get-go. Good morning to you, Sean. It looks to be a great one this morning. Speed on both sides of the ball.
And these teams have been here before, Bill.
Oh, I'm so excited. What a great day of football this is going to be. It's Farrell, the defending state champion, and Riverview knocking on the door a couple of times, and now they've got a chance to make that dream come true.
The Riverview Raiders are led right off the bat by Damian Heekins, their fullback. He's the guy that makes things go, Neil.
Well, Damian Heekins has stepped in and done a great job, not only blocking, but running the ball 750, 800 yards rushing. He's to be contended with.
They don't throw the ball up. They've also got another great guy in the backfield, Fritz Tamboro.
Fritz Tamboro, not much stature-wise as far as his size is concerned, but Coach CAPPA tells us a 4'4", 40. This kid can get to the outside. He should be something to watch.
Moving over to the Farrell side of the football, Lou Falcone's team has a heck of a ball club, but they are banged up. The guy who's carried the load the recent weeks has been the fullback, Jason Kennedy.
Yes, and one thing about Jason Kennedy, too, they have such a great number of athletes. When you look at them, if Kennedy can't do the job, it's simple. They go to the Rennie Gash, the quarterback, and that's what you're going to see Lou Falcone do today. Early in the game, he's going to try to get some kind of a read on his quarterback. If he's loose as a goose, he'll be more in the picture.
As you see, Rennie Gash does not throw the football often. In fact, neither team does, only about 8 times per game. But you'll see them running up and down the field all afternoon and morning, I guess, late morning here at Three River Stadium. It should be good. And we'll be back from Three River Stadium with the Class A championship between Riverview and Farrell right after this.
From Channel 11 News, this is Countdown to Kickoff. Here's your host, John Fedko.
Hello, football fans, and welcome to Channel 11's Countdown to Kickoff. I'm John Fedko. WPXI is proud to present these previews of all the WPIAL championship games at Three River Stadium today. I'll be with you before each contest with all you need to know to get ready for this great day of high school football action. Our first game is for the Class A title between Farrell, the defending Class A champs, and Riverview in the finals for the second time in the past 3 seasons. Let's take a look at these two fine teams.
Defending Class A champion Farrell is 10-1 heading into the title game. That record has been built as the result of a punishing ground attack and a hard-nosed defense. When running back Carlos Daniels, the team's best rusher, went down in the 8th week of the season, others stepped in. Jason Kennedy has moved into the starting lineup and has rushed for nearly 500 yards. Quarterback Rennie Gash has a strong arm. He hits Derek Newell on this play, but Gash can also run the ball. He's got over 400 yards rushing and is averaging more than 7 yards a run. Defensively, Farrell will be without standout Chico Pinkins, who injured a knee against South Fayette last week. But others have come up big all season. James Pulliam with this quarterback sack. And watch this great goal line stand by the Farrell defense. Even quarterback Gash gets into the act on defense with this interception. Coach Lou Falcone's squad is a huge force to be reckoned with.
When countdown to kickoff continues, we'll take a look at Farrell's opponent this morning, the Riverview Raiders. Welcome back to Countdown to Kickoff. I'm John Fedko. Riverview comes into this Class A title game with a 10-1 record and a host of big play performers. Let's take a closer look at the Raiders.
Like Farrell, Riverview relies heavily in the running game. Fritz Tamburro led the Raiders with more than 900 yards on the ground, while his backfield mate, Damian Heekins, had over 750 yards rushing. But the player many Division I colleges are drooling over is receiver Ben Erteljack, who had 29 catches for 500 yards. Plus, he's an outstanding defensive back. Another player to watch for Riverview is huge offensive lineman Randy Gilbert, who stands 6'5" and weighs more than 250 pounds. He's also getting some big college interest. Riverview was pounded 41-0 by Western Beaver in the title game 2 years ago. Don't look for a repeat performance of that today. Riverview coach Jake CAPPA says he's looking for a top-notch effort from his squad today.
We're going to have to play very, very steady up front. We're going to have to try to get some matchups there and equalize the mismatches if possible. We're going to have to keep them from making the big play. They, like us, have the same thing in plan. We want to keep their offense off the field, ball control sort of thing, but we just want to make sure we don't give up the big play. Make them earn it, make them work for it. But they're a very, very good football team. I think we are too.
They're a good team. We're going to have to come out, play our game, come out and hit and kind of control them a little bit. They're a good team, so it might take a break for us to win, but we're going to give it all we got and hopefully we come out the winners.
And that'll put a wrap on our first countdown to kickoff for this championship Saturday. I'll be here before each of today's remaining games with a close-up look at the teams trying to win WPIAL titles. I'm John Fedko. Enjoy the game, everybody.
Okay, Ben Erteljack getting ready to kick it off for the Riverview Raiders. With Lamar Claiborne deep to receive for the Farrell Steelers, but it's taken by an up back at the 15-yard line. He's out across the 30, a big run back on the play. It's Marino Harris, the 5'8", 180-pound junior, and it's good field position, Neil, right off the bat for the Farrell Steelers.
Right off the bat, an excellent return, gives them great field position on this opening drive at the 41-yard line, so we're in good shape for the Farrell.
Mentioned in the open, Rennie Gash, number 5, will be your quarterback, and he doesn't pass the ball an awful lot, but he's run the football for over 400 yards this season. And the Steelers, the big question is who's going to be the tailback as they get ready to start the football game. Jason Kennedy will be the tailback. Carlos Daniels, the regular tailback, is out. Actually, he'll play some defense probably this afternoon. There's Lamar Claiborne coming around from the wingback spot and a little get back. There's pick up about 5 yards on the play. Lucas Heekins up from the safety spot to make the tackle.
And Claiborne is their secret weapon. It's somebody that they're going to go to. They're going to try to get him in the seams, Neil, and what they're going to try to do is spring him to the outside of the field. They love the situation here because the field is in the middle. It gives them a balanced attack where they can run both sides.
Absolutely, a double tight power eye set. And again, they're in the same set.
You had a good look at the Farrell offensive line, and they are enormous. 330, 270, 240 as they give it up the middle to Kennedy. The former fullback, now the tailback, is picking up big yardage. You see, he does not go down easy. Calio Ciora, though, the man who makes the play for the Riverview Raiders. Take a look at the Riverview Raiders defense. We'll get it set for you here. And as I said, Ciora is the one man up front who makes the plays for them real strong. Along with Gilbert. Gilbert may be a Division I player. A lot of schools looking at him. He's 255 pounds. He's the biggest guy on the team. Dujak, number 15, is the quarterback as well as the linebacker. Give on that play there, first down play to Claiborne again. His second carry, though, for no yardage. Tackle made by Ciora once again.
Also helping out me on the play was Charlie Steffi. And something Falcone wanted to do today, he wanted to attack the tackles. He feels that he has so much size up front. Not that Riverview's tackles aren't good, but one is a junior at 6'0", 195, and Charlie Steffi is, you know, kind of the young kid on the block. So that's what they're going to try to do, attack the middle of the field.
Second and about 10 and a half for the Farrell Steelers outside the 43-yard line. Gash on the keeper, breaks a tackle and another. He's got a big hole up the middle. 4 tackles broken, and he's got a first down pickup inside the 30-yard line.
Well, Riverview seems to have the right people in the right places right now, but they're missing the tackles. The Farrell kids are running very strong right now, and Riverview needs to clean up their tackling right now.
And remember what I said, Sean, earlier. Watch for Rennie Gash, the quarterback, 60 carries, 431 yards. And did you see that time the blockers were out in front of him? The big man downfield was Ernie Somerset, who incidentally is a cousin of the great basketball player.
Willie Somerset, the former Duquesne star, and of course the Farrell Steelers star. Got a timeout, so we'll take it, and we'll be back right after this. Still no score. We are back. Still no score here at the River Stadium as the Farrell Steelers come up first and 10 at the 30-yard line, and Neal, the speed already taking an effect for Farrell.
And the missed tackles on the part of Riverview.
They give on the play to Kennedy. He picks up a solid 5 yards right up the middle.
Again, doing that last time out, Coach CAPPA come out and addressed his players. I think he has the right people in the right places, but they're actually missing tackles. And on that first down gain of 5 yards, again, a missed tackle at the point.
Neil, something that I noticed that it's the old theory of 7 in the box. There's a blocker on every one. Watch for the run. 8 in the box. They're going to throw the football, meaning the middle of the field.
I don't know if they're going to throw it with 8 people in the box either. Right now, they're running well.
Second and 5 for the Farrell Steelers. Rennie Gash under center. Claiborne, his third carry of the game, breaks a couple tackles himself before he's brought down on the play by Justin Dujak. 178-pound senior who also plays quarterback for this team, a versatile. See a lot of these guys playing both ways in Class A football, don't you, Neil?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, sometimes at this level, at this time of the season, you see them in Quad A football playing both sides of the ball. They're playing a power I double tight. Coach Falcone's not trying to kid anybody right here. It almost looks like a wing T offense with all the counter motion, and the backside guard has pulled 90% of the time so far.
2 tight ends set for the Farrell Steelers. Third and a little more than 3 yards on the play. Gash, his first pass, he's got a wide open receiver, with the pass just out of the reach of number 25, the tight end, Willie Evans.
A little play action there. Riverview obviously starting to creep up to the line, I think Jake Cappa's got to stop Farrell's run, and when they bring the people into the box to do that, the pass is going to be there, as you can see.
You know, look here, it's actually Derek Newell, the normal split end, as you see him. You're going to see him in just a second. He got behind. There's the Riverview defender. And Neil, I guess obviously with all those guys up in the box, it's a little bit easier to get behind them.
I've been there before. I've seen those 8- and 9-man fronts. You need to throw the ball sometimes to just keep the defense honest.
Farrell's going to go for it on 4th and short. They have Claiborne split to the near side of the field. Fake to the fullback, and Gash is in trouble. Look at that play. He pitches the ball, and Kennedy's going to run it into the touchdown on a broken play.
They broke the power I set and went with a flanker set. They intended to run the option to the left side, but that's the great athletic ability of Gash to be able to do something like that.
And that's something that you certainly can't teach. Just a marvelous run there against South Fayette. 27 carries, 204 yards. So this Farrell team doesn't miss a beat because, Sean, when you look at them, they're just that much quicker on the carpet.
Amazing play that Gash made there, being able to pitch the football. Neil got his hand down, didn't get his knee down on the ground.
A close call, but the replay kind of shows that he got that ball off before his knee actually hit the ground. Great play, great athlete.
A lot of great athletes in this football game. And Gash is not going to try to kick the extra point. The regular kicker for Farrell was injured last week, and this is going to be an adventure for the Farrell Steelers all day long. The first kick, as you see, is not good, so we'll take a break. The Farrell Steelers out to a 6-0 lead over the Riverview Raiders. Riverview gets their first trip on offense when we come back. WPIAL High School Championship is brought to you by Sunoco. by Pittsburgh Chevy Geo Dealers and by Sears Brand Central. Lorenzo Ham kicking it off for the Farrell Steelers. And Riverview's going to start off at their own 32-yard line here on offense. Going to take a look at that touchdown one more time here. And, looks like maybe it wasn't a touchdown, or wouldn't be if back in the old NFL days without instant replay.
Well, it was obviously a great athletic ability. Here we see it, Gash coming in the option to the left side. I'm going to check and see. His knee is down.
But he was slick. He picked it back up again, which is amazing. What a thinking quarterback, huh?
Well, Jake's got his kids running to the ball, obviously, and when the play was broken and chased back to the right-hand side, there was really nobody left over there.
As we mentioned, the Riverview offense run by Justin Dujak, the senior quarterback. There's a penalty against the Farrell Steelers on the defense.
Well, what it was encroachment 5 yards. And when you have an aggressive football team like Farrell, you're going to get those small penalties. You can live with those things right there. But Riverview obviously has good field position to start their first offensive series in the football game.
Dujak with Heekins and Tamboro in the backfield behind him. 1st and 5. The give is to Tamboro. And the Farrell Steelers were waiting for him. Let's take a look at the offensive starters for the Riverview Raiders. TJ Skill and Sam Glover, Ron Zanella, the big man on the line. And Calio Ciora, we talked about him at right guard. Bob Pica, the right tackle, number 51. The guys in the backfield, Ertl Jack, Tamboro, and Heekins, they're all dangerous. And Gilbert is a big guy. He has only caught one pass, and it was for a touchdown this season. Bynum is the receiver outside.
5 very dangerous, skilled people on the Riverview side of the ball there.
They split Ertl Jack to the near side of the field. Dujak for 2nd and 5. Fake, they're going to run the option. It's going to try to cut it up inside and does so for a gain of about 2 yards on the play. Tackled by number 56, James Pulliam, the nose guard for the Farrell Steelers, who got outside to make the play.
Riverview has made a living this year on running the option. They run the option a little bit differently. They block the end. They're going to try to option that next man out, whether it be the corner or the strong safety, and they did so there. They just didn't clean the middle. It was the nose guard that eventually got out there and made that tackle. But they have the point.
As you see the numbers there for Dujak, he can run the football. We mentioned early in the open, in fact, they don't throw the ball an awful lot. They threw the ball one more time than did Farrell this season. It was 89-88, about 8 passes per game this season. Ertl Jack split to the far side of the field. Split backs, Tamboro and Heekins. And there's a pass for you out to Ertl Jack. They get it to him in the flat, but Farrell had it well covered, although he does pick up the 1st down. Good effort there for Ben Ertl Jack.
What a great player this is, too. You know, when you look at them, 29 receptions, 500 yards, 9 touchdowns, they're going to try to isolate him all day long. As you see right here, Sean, they want him one-on-one. He has great speed, Ertl Jack, and a quality athlete for the Riverview Raiders.
They had him out there against Chico Pinkins, who is actually playing in this football game. We weren't sure we'd see him on the corner on the far side. Chico, with both leg, knee, and ankle injuries, suffered last week in the semifinal game. We're told he would not play this morning. Whatever we have here at Three Rivers. Dujak, a 2nd pass in a row. That one's tipped away, in fact, by Pinkins on the play, as well as by Daniels up front.
A lot of pressure there. Farrell looked to be slanting to the wide side of the field there to the formation. They brought one linebacker. Coach CAPPA was expressed some concern that they were going to bring that linebacker, and they did this time.
And actually what they have there is double coverage. You see Chico Pinkins, also help from the quarterback Rennie Gash, comes across the middle, and they tried to flood the zone, but the deflection was by Jason Kennedy.
Pinkins looked pretty good. He kept up with Ertl Jack pretty well on that play. 2nd and 10, the draw to Tamboro, and he picks up 4.
Riverview looks like they're having some trouble handling that nose guard right now. They're going to need to try to establish that outside game and get the ball into the secondary a little bit. Having trouble up the gut right now.
Jason Pulliam was who they were concerned with. CAPPA feels that he's the best middle linebacker that he faced all year long, and we talked about the matchup, that he's going to be double-teamed all day.
Yeah, that's probably a more accurate term. You call him middle linebacker. He really is a nose guard, but he will drop into coverage on some pass plays. 3rd and a little over 5, and Dujak has another pass. This one is picked off, and it's Pinkins, and he's going to try to get into open field, but he's run down on the play. Randy Gilbert on the tackle. for the Riverview Raiders, but good field position for Farrell.
No, again, great pressure. Farrell brought the linebackers. You're going to see here, Farrell's bringing the linebackers and not being picked up. In this case, the right linebacker's shooting, and there he comes right there, putting the pressure.
That's number 3, Marino Harris, putting the pressure on Dujak. A pass overthrown, Pinkins picks it off.
And Marino Harris is only a junior at 5'10", 180, but again, the agility and the quick speed. And, you know, when you have speed, Coach Gordon, on the rug, boy, that just is an added advantage.
Speed's an added advantage whether you're on the rug or not.
First and 10, Farrell, their own 43. It's Kennedy again, over the right side on the counter play, and he has about 5-yard pickup. Tackled on the play by Dave Upball, number 50 for the Raiders.
And, you know, I talked earlier in the week, and Coach Falcone said, in Farrell, it is considered an honor to be a tailback. There's a lot of stiff competition among those players. Jason Kennedy, DeMarco Wilder, they really go after it because it is a run-oriented offense.
There's no doubt about it. They're all pulling their share of the load right now.
Kind of like the old Southern Cal. You want to be the tailback for the Farrell Steelers. They lead it here 6-0. There's a reverse play inside to Claiborne, and he's got open field. Chad Bynum, the touchdown-saving tackle. Lucas Heekins also back there for Riverview. But a well-designed play for Farrell again.
Well, Farrell's pounding the ball up the middle over both guards and off the tackle. And when you need to stop that first, you need to be strong up the middle, and that just set the reverse up coming back to the left side. So well called, well-schemed sequence of plays right there for Coach Falcone.
They've disguised him, only a sophomore, and he has tremendous speed. I said the secret weapon earlier, 170 pounds, and he is a factor so far in this football game.
Great black block from your man Pulliam as well on the play, pulling out from his guard spot. Gash wants to throw the football, and he actually hit his receiver, but that's not the guy he wanted to throw the football to, I don't believe. We got a flag on the play. Willie Evans couldn't hold the pass. Quarterback, all kinds of pressure on the play, and you'll see it here. Anything different by the defense there, Neil, on that play?
Well, it was only a one-step drop by the quarterback from Farrell. He really didn't get out of the pocket. It was a little dump there with no fake. I don't know if it was a great pressure or just a lack of a drop. He just stood straight up and threw the ball.
We've talked about it. Farrell does not throw the ball very often, and I know you talked with Coach Falcone. I've heard the room, they only have 2 pass plays. That one across the middle and 1 deep, wherever Reddy can throw it.
Well, we have 2. Most high schools have 2 pass plays, 1 complete and 1 incomplete. And these people, the way Farrell's running the ball right now, I'm not exactly sure they should bother with those 2 pass plays.
The penalty's illegal receiver downfield 5 yards, sets up 2nd and 10 for the Farrell Steelers. At the Riverview 33. Kennedy. 10 more.
Great speed to the outside, great reach block by the right end, and Farrell sprung him.
Big play, too.
Another play
was Keegan Bryant, the junior at 5'9", 205. Watch the block that he throws here on the outside, enabling Kennedy to get the yardage. He's an unselfish hero. He doesn't really carry the football, but he certainly does his job. As you see, he sprung him for a lot of real estate.
That was he there, number 35, the fullback this afternoon. You see, he could make way too many tackles for the Riverview Raiders. Coach does not like to see the safety making them all.
I'm not exactly sure anybody's made a tackle but the linebackers in the secondary for Riverview, and that's not good.
3rd and about a half yard to go. They did not give him a 10-yard gain on the play. But Kennedy will take care of that on this one as he tries to dive over the right side. Stacked up pretty well by the Riverview defense, though. We'll see if he made it.
And, you know, everybody talks about how great Farrell is on offense. They're just that good on defense. Last week against South Fayette, they crossed the Farrell 35 only 1 time, and that was in the beginning of the 2nd half.
I would be very, very concerned. I am so impressed already with the overall team speed. You talk about the skilled people for Farrell, but the overall team speed, I'm watching guards getting to the point. There's some great team speed that needs to be contended with.
Very short yardage here for the first down. They did not get it, so it's going to set up 4th and about a 1.5 feet on the measurement. Obviously, Farrell's going to go for it with Gash, the kicker, this afternoon. as well as the ball being inside the 25-yard line.
You know, CAPPA feels that the key to his success, they're really not that solid on lifting weights, but what they do is a thing called plyometrics. It's an Eastern European form of jumping, and it increases quickness and speed. It kind of gives his players a rubber band effect. It makes them a lot explosive.
I don't know, Neil, if it makes him this fast, you might want to try it next year at Penn Hills.
I can use all this. We've used plyometrics.
Yeah,
I've used quite a bit. Very successful, well proven.
Gash on the keeper, and he's got the first down a little bit more. He's inside the 20-yard line.
And again, hit it right at the line of scrimmage. I'm sure he had the first down, but dragged the Riverview defender for another 2 or 3 yards. They're on the 20-yard line in great shape again.
The Farrell Steelers pretty much dictating the play here in the first quarter of the Class A championship game at Three Rivers Stadium, leading Riverview 6-0. 3:53 to play here in the first half. You see Rennie Gash, the quarterback, 2 carries, 16 yards. Everybody in this Farrell team can run it. Kennedy on the carry inside the 10 with a first and goal for Farrell. And just great blocking in front before Chad Bynum was able to make the tackle for Riverview.
And you know, Carlos Daniels with 95 carries, 13 touchdowns on the year. Falcone obviously not concerned with that because of the depth. Because Jason Kennedy, the junior at 5'11", 220, gets a great block here, as you see, and he springs to the outside with that explosive speed.
Well, I talked to Coach CAPPA earlier in the week, and we were concerned about whether Carlos would play or not. And Coach CAPPA said it really didn't make any difference. They were both great running backs, and it really didn't make any difference which one lined up. He had a problem there.
Daniels is here in uniform and will be suited up on defense this afternoon for Farrell, but they haven't had to play much of that so far. Keeper and Gash is in trouble.
You see a lot of unbalanced line on this drive by Farrell here. Tackle over with the wing to the right side to try to get Riverview outmanned at the point, and didn't work that time.
Mike Catullo was there. He's the defensive end or the outside linebacker coming up there. He's solid to the outside. His job to turn the play in, and he did a great job there.
Yeah, Randy Gilbert and Sam Glover as well as they swarm on the quarterback. Maybe should have just given that ball off. They looked like they had a hole in the first option there, Neil.
Well, you expect Riverview to bounce and adjust to that unbalanced line, but don't be surprised if Falcone comes back to the short side of the field when Riverview does make that adjustment. We're pretty balanced up now on the flanker set.
Two tight ends with Claiborne to the right. Gash on the option to pitch. Kennedy tries to get to the corner, but it's strung out pretty well. Then Ertlejack and Lucas Eakins on the defensive play for Farrell, or for Riverview.
Lucas Eakins, actually the man that made the stop. He stood out at safety against Monessen last week. He's solid, a gifted athlete. Watch how quickly the read comes, and he's there to make the big hits.
Good fake there. Kennedy does not get to the corner because Eakins is there to meet him. Ertlejack finishes him off.
Farrell doing a real nice job with their tight end coming down onto the inside and sealing the inside linebackers, leaving that safety and corner out there by themselves.
Third and goal from the 9 for the Farrell Steelers, leading 6-0. Rennie Gash back to throw it. Plenty of time. He's creating now, looking for room to run it in if he can. Inside the 5. And all the way down to the 2-yard line. And Neil, that's an athlete.
Oh, yeah, that's athletic ability. What can you say about Coach CAPPA? He's got the right people in the right place. They're missing the tackles. We have Farrell, injured player on the field right now down at the 10-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like one of the big linemen. It's not Ernie Somerset. Or it might be. I don't see number 70.
When you're talking about the big linemen, there's a lot of them down there, so it's very difficult to try to figure out which one it is. Great size up front for a single 18.
It is Ernie Somerset, the 6-foot, 330-pound junior tackle for the Farrell Steelers.
Excuse me, watch on Rennie Gash on the play. If you see out front, you see Somerset where he goes down. But Gash with just such great ability, 35 attempts. He has 60 carries for 431 yards, just jiving and turning and dancing and moving. That's not shot. It's just sheer athletic ability.
As he went by there, Neil, you see his knee almost gave him. I mean, he just kind of. There's Somerset there on the left side of your screen.
It looks like Gash is the one that stepped on his foot, his own player, when he was running.
and they can't afford to lose Somerset. He's only a junior. He's 6 foot even, but he's 330 pounds, and that's quite a load, too. You can see what happens is they try to get behind those tackles, and they actually hide the running backs for Farrell.
Well, Coach CAPPA told me the first time he saw him, he said, well, there's no way that kid can move. The second time he saw him, he realized he could move. So this is not only a big boy, but a big young kid, but one that can move from side to side.
I'm not sure exactly who Somerset's backup is, but I did notice on the roster for Farrell, Keith Bryant, number 72, a 5'9", 305-pound junior. He may end up being your right tackle.
And the replay again shows it was Gash that stepped on the left foot or the left ankle of the big tackle, and right now he doesn't look in real good shape.
He's limping a little bit slowly, but it doesn't look like it's anything serious the way he's putting it. You know, when you put 330 pounds on an ankle and it holds up, I think you're doing okay.
And only a junior. This young man's coming back next year, so Coach Falcone needs to be concerned.
Falcone has to be so impressed with his football team offensively. Coming into the contest, he wanted to control the football today. And one thing he did not want to do was allow Riverview to get those 8-minute drives, and he also wanted to make the big plays defensively. So far, everything has worked out to a T, Sean.
Number 50, Sterling Austin, 5'8", 275-pound tackle, replaces Somerset at left tackle for the Steelers. They're coming up here, 4th and goal. They're 2 for 2 in 4th down play so far in the game. Pitch to Kennedy. Bryant in front of him, and it's strung out nicely. The Riverview Raiders have made the play. Lucas Eakins makes the tackle, forces it out, and Riverview is held.
Lucas Eakins came up real nice from the secondary spot, but I think the credit goes to the defensive end that strung that play and gave Eakins enough time to get there. A great play by Riverview, and boy, they needed it badly.
Hey, you see Keegan Bryant trying to make the lead block here, Neil, but just unable to do it.
And, you know, if you look at Eakins, 38 tackles, 39 assists, a total of 77, has a great knack for being where the football is.
And Jake CAPPA loves the kid. I had the opportunity to talk with Jake and see him this week, and he just loves Eakins and what he does on both sides of the ball.
Long field to go for the Riverview Raiders. 1st and 10 at their own 3-yard line, trailing 6-0 with 40 seconds to play here in the first quarter of the Class A championship.
And, you know, I'm kind of surprised, too, that they've been able to move the ball, Farrell, that is so well, because Riverview has posted 5 shutouts on the season.
Split backs behind Dujak to give us to Heekins. He's out near the 5-yard line, or he's brought down on the play by big Dante Newell, the 240-pound defensive tackle from Farrell.
And Coach CAPPA went to twins that time. 2 receivers split wide right to try to take a couple of those Farrell people out of the middle and onto the perimeter to run that fullback up the gut.
I guess when we've talked about the big offensive line from Farrell, but blocking guys almost as big on the defensive front has got to be a concern for the Riverview Raiders as well today.
Major concern. The tackles are, they play a little bit soft. They're very difficult to trap. I'll get back to that in a minute.
2nd and 9. The give is to Tamboro, and he's out near the 10-yard line. Newell again on the tackle for Farrell.
Hey, Sean, there's certain things you want to do when you're outmanned on the defensive line. You try to trap these people a little bit, and they're playing soft. They're very difficult to trap.
It's been a wild first quarter of play here at Three Rivers Stadium. It's Farrell leading Riverview 6-0.
The following is a presentation of Fox Sports Pittsburgh.
Great. We're back at Three Rivers Stadium where the Farrell Steelers lead Riverview 6-0 in the Class A championship game of WPIAL. And how'd they do it? Well, with 8:27 possession in the first quarter, scoring on a drive that went 11 plays, 4 first downs for Farrell in the first quarter of play.
Ironically, Sean, both these teams, their only losses were to Rochester. But I wanted to talk about Jake CAPPA for a second. His 11th year, the AD. He played out of Connellsville, offensive and defensive tackles, and we'll tell you a bit more about him in a second.
Justin Dujak brings the Raiders to the line, 3rd and 4. To give us to Erdeljak, who was in the backfield on the play of the T-set. He's not going to pick up the first down, strung out nicely by the Farrell Steelers. Willie Evans playing with a bad shoulder from his defensive end, field position made the play.
But we're talking about Jake CAPPA. Here's a guy that played at Pratt Junior College. Then he went to Salem, West Virginia. He played both ways, defensive and an offensive tackle, and he has really done the job. You know, in the 90s, as you look at Jake, 91, 92, 93, 4, and 5, he's been there in the semifinals. He's done a marvelous job, and they just love him at Riverview High School.
And that they should. He's had them in the finals 2 of the last 3 seasons. Fourth and real short, as you see. Jack not able to pick up the first down on the 3rd down carry.
Defensive front for Farrell's now posing a major problem for Jake CAPPA. He needs to run the ball, and those 3 people, we've mentioned Pulliam already at the nose guard, but Dante Newell at 240 pounds and Sim Harrison at the other tackle at 230 are really controlling the line of scrimmage and not penetrating, but playing the line of scrimmage well.
And what happened last week, Sean, in the second half, Farrell just wore South Fayette down, and Riverview's got to do something quickly here.
Yeah, you know, it's really bizarre when you look at the way these teams got to the finals. Riverview just cruised through the playoffs, basically. Winning their first playoff game 34-0, win last week 35-6. Farrell needed overtime to get past South Fayette. There's your full-house box. You know, they realize they need to get it. They're going for it on 4th and real short. Dujac, though, I guess just trying to draw him offside. They're going to punt it now.
I think he was successful in drawing him off. Dujac called the timeout.
Got a flag and a timeout, so we'll see which happens.
Through the flag.
We're going to take a break, and we'll be back. Farrell leading Riverview 6-0 in the Class A championship. And we are back at River Stadium with the Farrell Steelers leading Riverview 6-0. You see the defensive play there. They were successful in drawing the offside. Riverview was, and they did get 1st and 10. Tamboro picked up a couple yards on the first play. It's 2nd and 8 with Dujac bringing them to the line of scrimmage. See Farrell dominating in the yardage so far in the game as he gives it off to Heekins, the fullback. Derek Newell, the tackle for Farrell on the play, a pickup of about 4 yards. It'll set up 3rd and 4 for the Riverview Raiders.
And one of the things you look at in high school football games, and Coach Gordon, you can tell us too, they say that the game is won with the guys that grunts, the guys up front, and a huge advantage for Farrell right now.
So far, Riverview looks to be gaining a little confidence, a little comfort level here.
And that was enormous, getting that first down on the penalty. A little bit of a mix-up, or was that an undesigned option, do you think, there, Neil?
I think the mix-up was that the nose guard got to the handoff before the tailback did. We're having some major problems with the nose guard right now, controlling the line of scrimmage. Jake had originally planned, Coach CAPPA had originally planned on double-teaming him, but he hasn't done it too much so far. He's trying to pull those guards and get to the outside.
You see Pulliam, and he did get knocked down on the play by Heekins, but he was able to disrupt the play enough for Carlos Daniels to make the tackle. And as we mentioned, Daniels, the starting tailback, is playing at his defensive end spot this afternoon on the far side. He wears number 32.
I certainly don't think Heekins is the man they intended on blocking Pulliam.
4th and short, and Riverview's going to punt the football this time. It's a little longer than it was, and I guess they don't think Farrell will fall for that long count again.
Penalty on the play. Riverview in a spread punt formation there. Wait and see what this call is.
Jack is the punter. Rainy Gash back to receive it for Farrell. It's a penalty against Riverview, a motion penalty. Push it back. It's Chico Pinkins, number 7, back to return it for the Farrell Steelers.
And obviously what you're seeing happening right now is Farrell should get the football in great field position again. And again, by attacking the middle of that field, Riverview has to come up with some special defense quickly.
High and short, the punt's going to hit the ground, and they're going to let it drop, obviously, as it bounces out toward the 50-yard line. The Riverview bounce. The Raiders have got a little bit lucky on that punt. Louis Falcone and Chico Pinkins couldn't take it back.
I'm not exactly sure they want to kick the ball to Pinkins to begin with, but a little bit of pressure up the middle caused Jack to shorten up on his kick a little bit, but I think it turned out pretty well. I don't think you want to kick the ball to Chico.
30-yard punt for Jack. 1st and 10 for the Farrell Steelers at their own 48-yard line. This is the worst field position they've had all afternoon.
Looking at their record, too, AAA champs in 51, then they dropped down in A, They win it in 86, 90, and 95, and AA in 1976. So a great football tradition, too, as long with basketball.
Different offensive set for Farrell. Pinkins in the slot. Gash wants to throw the football. He has Newell, and the pass is going to be ruled incomplete. Coverage on the play by Lucas Heekins, who's making every defensive play for the Riverview Raiders.
Two wide receivers to the right, a slot and a wide out, and just a very simple combination pattern, curl release pattern here. As you'll see, the two receivers, the outside man doing a curl and the inside man doing a little combination release pattern to the outside.
Newell curls in. Heekins was on a man-to-man and made the play. Defensively knocked it loose. 2nd and 10 for the Farrell Steelers.
Expect to see Pinkins on a little stop and go at some point in time here set up by that little 5-yard hook there. Go back to the power eye, double tight.
Daniels is the tailback behind quarterback Rennie Gash. Give to Claiborne. It's a loose football, and it's picked up on the play and recovered by the Riverview Raiders. Number 70, Garrett Moore. 205-pound sophomore made the play.
Excellent penetration by the Riverview front people to cause that misbat. You'll see 3 yards in the backfield there, all that penetration. 1, 2, 3, 4 Riverview people. This is the break that CAPPA was looking for.
We didn't get to look at who that was that knocked the ball loose from Claiborne's hands, but it was a nice play on the penetration. Neil said up front.
Yeah, Mike Catullo was one of the people back there, number 89.
1st and 10 for Riverview at the Farrell 31. An opportunity for the Raiders. Dujak wants to throw the football. He's got a man deep. And wide open for the touchdown. Ben Ertlejack just beat the Farrell defense down the sideline.
There's a one-man pattern, a maximum protection for Dujak in a one-man pattern, a released Ertlejack. It's been their success all year.
And he's their key guy to go through. What a marvelous pass play. He ran it down, 29 receptions, 500 yards on the year, and 9 touchdowns. And as you see here, just a great job for Dujak, stepping up in the pocket, taking his time. He pumps once, and he looks downfield, Sean. What a beautiful ball. He runs underneath it, and there's 6.
A great call for Jake CAPPA. He come off the turnover. Go deep. They beat the Farrell Steelers. We're tied at 6.
And a great call by Jake to make it a one-man pattern, keep the other 9 people in the block and give them the time to throw the ball to.
And yet they're still unable to cover him. Lucas Heekins on to attempt the extra point. See if he can get the Raiders ahead. The hold is down and good, but the kick is low. It's up there barely over the bar. It's going to be good. And the Raiders lead it 7-6.
Well, we had some great penetration there, but the kick got through anyway.
The WPIAL High School Championship is brought to you by Sears Home Improvement, by Pepsi, and by Point Park College.
Looking at this football game, what you have here is just a great Class A matchup. And you know, something that Riverview's done very well, when you look at the carries, it's Dujak, Ertlejack, Tamburo, and Heekins. They've all been distributed quite well in carrying the leather.
Ertlejack's kick taken by the quarterback, Rennie Gash, at the 60s, across the 30, and fumbled the football. But Farrell does hold on to it. Apparently one of the Steelers got on the football for him, and it's going to be Farrell football. A little bit of a scare. 1 turnover, a 36-yard touchdown pass from Dujak to Ertlejack, and another fumble.
Well, Sean, you can throw those statistics out the window. Momentum's the name of the game in high school sports, and Riverview's playing with renewed enthusiasm here.
There's the best kind of scoring drive you can have, Neil. 1 play, 7 seconds, 36 yards. The penalty is against Farrell, and it's going to push the Steelers back a bit.
For the first time today, Riverview actually playing with a little bit of field position. Farrell, for once now, has the long field to go.
Yep, the clip will push him all the way back to the 15-yard line, where Farrell will have it 1st and 10. With 8:08 to play here in the first half, trailing for the first time in the game, now 7-6. We'll see if head coach Lou Falcone, the man there with the mustache, see what he tries to do here. They're going to actually move the ball out near the 16-yard line. So Rennie Gash, the Steelers offense, have a little bit of a different look. You'll see the power eye set, 2 tight ends. Tailback Daniels, he's hit in the backfield, a nice defensive play. 89, Mike Catula, coming from his outside linebacker spot, was able to hit Kennedy in the backfield.
And he's a solid player. He read the play well. The junior at 5'9", 155, has 2 sacks on the year. Very quick. Watch him read here. Boom, he gets the gash immediately.
Who's responsible for that, Neil?
Well, you also notice the 6-man front with 2 or 4 backers. Riverview is going with almost a 6-4 front when Farrell goes into that double tight power I.
So they weren't didn't adjust to it on that play.
No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There they are right there. That's 11 people in the box as far as I can see.
They're trying to force Gash to throw the football, which is obviously not his strong suit.
And I think a wise move by Coach CAPPA. He needs to stop the run.
And, you know, Falcone came into the game, and he said very simply, if we cannot run the football in the first period, there's a good chance that we're going to lose. But they have adjusted well, Riverview that is, and we have a great football game that's being played in front of us.
We have some great shots coming from this Anthony Crane on the sideline I see rolling up and down here, giving us some great shots here in the replays.
Help from all sides. We do the WPIAL championships here on Fox. High formation set with the slot man on the near side. Gash has Newell. He has Pickens going deep. Jack is there to pick it off. The defensive captain into the Farrell territory across the 40. Using his speed to the 35, down to the 32-yard line. And Riverview's momentum is picking up again.
And again, a little bit of pressure up front. They dropped the 4. They played a little bit of man zone package, it looked like there. The replay will be coming here, and we'll see a little bit of pressure up front.
We talked about it, Neil. You mentioned the 6-man front. They're basically dictating the play now. Farrell dictated it early in the first quarter of play, and Riverview has taken over that part of the game.
Well, had a little push there by Jack, but no flags on the play.
And, you know, when you look at Jack, too, he's an NHS student. He's a leader. He's very strong and powerful, has a great open field running and ability. He's a smart football player, one of the captains offensively and defensively.
The Farrell Steelers take a timeout here with 6:32 to play in the first half, and kind of a wild football game. We weren't sure we were going to have this early on, Neil.
Well, Riverview's a bunch of scrappy kids. Jake loves them. That's what he calls them, scrappy. They go to practice in their dirty clothes, and their shirts are torn. That's right up Jake's alley. He loves every bit of it. These aren't kids that are going to quit, that's for sure.
And, you know, they're a very explosive team, too. Their scrimmages are important because they scrimmage South Fayette in the beginning of the year. They also scrimmage Geibel. And as you know, Sean, they play in that tough conference with Duquesne and Clairton. And need I say more?
A little bit of frustration on the sideline at Farrell there. I saw a couple of helmets going onto the ground. I don't think these people were ready for this after the dominance that they had in that first 2 drives, Sean.
All right, we've got Keith James down on the sidelines. Of course, you met him earlier in the game. What do you got for us, Keith?
Guys, I want you to know you're right on the mark with the frustration that Farrell's showing. Chico, number 7, Chico Franklin, threw his helmet down in disgust, and they are not happy with the situation the way that they have been playing in the turn of events. One of the big turn of events, though, has to do with those goalposts that, of course, that were changed this season by the WPIAL from the standard pro posts, which are more narrow, to the football width. And, of course, that difference of 4 foot 10 inches, we saw the point after did not work for Farrell. That could become a big factor in this game. We'll keep an eye on it very closely as we roll along in this Class A championship.
2 Jack under center, 1st and 10. To give us to Tamboro over the backside, a little bit of a misdirection play. He gets into the secondary before he's brought down by Jason Kennedy for the Farrell defense. A pickup of about 6 yards on the play.
And again, you'll see their attempt to double the nose guard and really combo off onto that one linebacker, and it worked rather effectively.
Yeah, Fritz Tamboro, little guy, just 140 pounds. He can run the football.
Tamboro coming into the contest, probably their best all-around athlete, 4.4 speed in the 40, 111 attempts, 914 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 8.2 average.
The ball set at the 28-yard line, 2nd and 5. To give us to Jack. Breaks 1 tackle, 2 tackles, loses the football, and Pinkins has it for the Farrell Steelers. He's taking it back. Momentum swings wickedly, does it not, Neil?
We talked about it before. Look at that Riverview on the 30-yard line. Jack breaks a great second effort to get into the secondary, puts the ball on the carpet, and any of those people in the blue and gold down there and pick it up, you know, it's probably going to be 6. And there goes the big man, number 6, 7 into the end zone, and again a major swing with Pinkins.
You know, look at the replay here. Dante Newell's going to be the guy to make the big play here for the Farrell defense. Watch the hit.
But not only that, look at the irony. The ball bounces right into Chico Pinkins' hand, and he's the senior, the speedster, 5'9", 170. He was hurt last week, believe it or not, in South Fayette, favoring his ankle. He didn't look like he lost a step there at all.
No, ankle and a knee. They had declared him out of this game early this week.
And we talked about Farrell's speed. Did you see number 75, Dante Newell, leading him down the field? He's running step for step with him. He's 6 foot 240 pounds.
After forcing the fumble, they go the whole way. The great timeout for Lou Falcone. Got his team back into this football game mentally.
Dante Newell, also the captain. They call him Bucky.
Bucky, all right, Bucky Newell. We've got a timeout for Farrell. They're going to go for 2 here on the extra point with the unsuccessful kick attempt by Rennie Gash early in the game. As we mentioned, he's not used to doing it. Their kicker is normally Pinkins.
And here we have the play again. You can see Ertlejack breaking the first tackle. Great effort there. Caught from behind on the inside. And watch number 75 as he leads him down the sideline. That's a 240-pound man. Look at him running.
Called him Mr. Everything, too, and that's the thing that Jay CAPPA was concerned with, too. Falcone, on the other hand, earlier in the week told me, I said, are you concerned about these goalposts, Coach? He said, nah. I said, you got to be kidding me. He said, no, we can't kick an extra point anyway.
If that's the way Chico Pinkins runs with a bad knee and a bad ankle, I'd like to see this young man when he's healthy.
You know, he's obviously injured, though, because they're not having him kick. He's doing everything else on the field today.
That's right. He can get 6 instead of the 1.
Well, I wanted to ask you a big question. You come into a championship game. Does it take a series or 2 to settle down? Is everyone caught up and looking around?
I think that depends on the maturity of your kids. Obviously, the discipline's there for all the teams to be able to get this far, but it's still an impressive thing to walk through the tunnels down here.
Okay, power eye set for Farrell in the 2-point conversion. Gash wants to throw. Has a receiver in the end zone, and the conversion is good. He completes the ball to Lamar Claiborne. Came out of the backfield and got open in the corner of the end zone.
Just a 3-level flood there, 3 different levels, and Riverview didn't adjust. Gave Gash the opportunity to get onto the corner with more time to play.
Take a look at it here.
You fake to the fullback.
Yeah, Claiborne was the right halfback in that set.
So you have your 3-level flood there. You have your power eye back, your halfback, and your tight end.
All out there in the corner of the end zone. And Farrell back ahead of this football game, 14-7.
And again, another momentum shift here very, very quickly.
5.5 minutes to play here in the first half of play. Riverview gets the ball back and try to swing the momentum in their direction once again.
Riverview's a big play offense. They've been that all year. To expect them to get 4 yards at a clip up and down the field, I don't think so. You're going to look for the big plays. Dudek to Ertlejack, and a great break by Tamboro. So this is going according to Hoyle, I think.
According to Hoyle, you know, we talk about 2 teams that average over 33 points a game. Normally, when you get to the finals, it's defense that wins games, but this one might be different in that case.
Absolutely.
And, you know, Farrell has always been a very quick football team. It's now mandatory that everyone on the team lifts weights at least 2 times per week.
Lorenzo Ham's kick taken at the 25-yard line by Lucas Eakins, one of the upbacks, and he's got room and speed, as you see, across the 40 into Farrell territory. A great start offensively for the Riverview Raiders, run out of bounds by Khalil Cotton for the Steelers on the far side.
And again, we've been harping about the overall team speed of Farrell, but Heekins, Ertlejack, and some of these kids from Riverview have great speed too here. And you can see a great run back here, a badly needed run back right now by Lucas Heekins. He has the speed to the outside.
Just a 10th grader. His older brother, obviously, the starting fullback.
I believe it was Lucas Heekins, the 10th grader, that kicked the field goal to get him here.
Right, in the game
against Monessen, I believe.
Monessen. Right, the #1 team in the WPIAL all season long. Counter play to Tamboro, big hole. Great blocking out front. Inside the 35-yard line. Dante Newell all the way downfield to help out on the play for Farrell, as well as Chico Pinkins making the tackle.
The old counter tray, as the Redskins used to call it, pulling the backside guard and backside tackle, and play action to the right and coming back to the left.
Marino Harris, number 3, also there for the Steelers. First and 10 though for Riverview at the 33-yard line, and the Raiders do have the momentum.
Brian Quicksit, the senior, he was actually out front doing a great job with downfield blocking on the play.
High formation set this time for the Raiders. Heekins, the fullback, in front of Tamboro. Dujak wants to throw. Trying to get it to Tamboro out of the backfield on the far side, but the pass a little bit too long.
Little 5-yard flood to Tamboro coming out of the backfield, off play action. Great call by Jake CAPPA. The ball just thrown a little bit too strong.
Covered a little bit too well by Marino Harris for the Steelers.
And you know, they, both these teams, Farrell and you look at Riverview's success, both right now are using first-year quarterbacks, Gash and also Dujak. But if you look at Riverview and go a bit deeper, how about with Dujak, then Belisario, a first-year quarterback in CAPPA? He has had great success in the 90s. CAPPA is with one-year quarterback, first-year quarterbacks.
Second and 10 for the Raiders. The option over near far side. Pitches to Tamboro. Tries to get to the corner. He's got an 8-yard pickup and a late flag on the play. An injured player for Riverview as well. Number 51, Bob Pica is down on the field at the 24-yard line.
And the penalty flag, Neil, is going to be on Farrell for roughing the quarterback.
I believe so. A great individual effort, as you're going to see. We have a dive option to the right side. Fullback going to two-hole to hold those linebackers, and then just a great individual effort by the quarterback Duzak to get the ball out to the speedster. But I think you're right, Coach. I think we do have a penalty as a late hit here. Here's the official's call.
Personal foul. You got an ejection, number 75.
Dante Newell from Farrell kicked out of the football game, and that is big. You talked about how important he has been to the Steelers so far.
Well, we just saw him run 75 yards down the field. Looked like a tailback rather than a lineman, but lost his composure here, I believe, and a late hit on the quarterback, and that young man's going to be done for the day.
And Pike is up on his feet. He looks like he's in good shape. I don't know if he had the wind knocked out of him or what, but he looks like he's okay. Probably be back in there in a little bit for the Riverview Raiders. Meanwhile, they're going to end up with great field position here with the 15-yard walk-off from the 33-yard line. See how they do this. They don't take it from the end of the plays. You see Newell, 240-pound senior.
Dante Newell made a big mistake. Obviously, it's going to cost him great field position, but you know, at any level of football, we have the same problem at Quad A, but in Single A, you can't afford to lose studs like this. Obviously,
two-way players.
Two-way players, so we're losing at least 2 players, one on offense and one on defense, and who knows how many special teams he plays on. So a big mistake by the senior, not the leadership they needed at this point.
Especially with Ernie Somerset already on the bench injured. Another tackle for the Steelers. First and 10 Riverview at the Farrell 12-yard line. Split backs. Dujak wants to throw. Out of the backfield, Tamboro inside the 10 about the 8-yard line. Coverage on the play by Derek Newell. Strong safety for the Steelers.
Well, you look at Duzak, he looks like a little pulling guard. You know, he doesn't have that body that you would associate with a quarterback, but he's smooth. He deals the ball so well in the backfield and pinpoint passing. Those little passes, those little flares to Tamboro out of the backfield, they're very difficult touch passes to throw, and he's doing a great job.
And Tamboro comes in with 10 catches, 58 yards, has a 5.8 average.
Split backs, second and about 8. Pitch to Tamboro, tries to get to the corner. He does. He's inside the 5-yard line. A nice pickup on the play for Riverview. Derek Newell on the tackle again for the Farrell Steelers.
And Coach Ethan Geigler is in now for Riverview. He was supposed to stop. He's a sophomore, 6 foot, 215 pounds, but had mono this week. But you look out front here, he does a great job in leading the block to spring the running back for Riverview to the outside.
And the first time we saw, as you see in the replay, a little bit of motion by Heekins to get to that perimeter. So, again, a numbers game, trying to outman them on the perimeter, and Heekins did that.
And the split end, Chad Bynum playing mostly tight end here in this game. Made a nice block on the play as well. 3rd and 2 here for the Raiders. A 1 for 4 in 3rd down situations going into that play, and Looks like they're going to be 1 for 5, and the Steelers were able to make the play quickly.
Very interesting situation for Jake CAPPA at this particular time. Very short situation here. I'm sure Jake's going to go for it.
I was going to say, wouldn't you think in a game this big and a game where you're going to see maybe some real high offensive numbers, a field goal is not going to help you much this early?
At the worst, we have a timeout here to discuss the situation. But at the very worst, if they would get stopped, you still get Lee Farrell with 97 yards to go. So I would expect very much for Jake to go. He's a blue-collar coach. He's going to try to get down and dirty down there and get that 1 yard.
All right, let's take a look here at the how these teams got here this afternoon here at Three Rivers Stadium. As you see the first round of the playoffs, Duquesne beating Fraser, Western Beaver cruising past Northgate. Port Cherry beating California, their first time in the playoffs in a long time. And Clairton beating Southside Beaver 23-17. When you move into the second round, when these teams started to get into action, Farrell beating Duquesne 14-0. And Riverview you see blowing out Port Cherry 45-0. Menneson and South Fayette, of course, your other winners in that round, and then moved into the semifinals last week, where Farrell needed overtime to get past South Fayette, and Riverview kind of cruised to a 25-14 win over Menneson. Neil talked about it earlier. One of the big plays in that game was a field goal, their first of the season ever, a 37-yarder, and it was kicked by Lucas Eakins. Well, we're fourth and about a half a yard here for Riverview. They're 1 for 1 in fourth down plays.
Well, great explosion off the ball by the Riverview front seven.
Dujak has the first down inside the 1 yard line.
Excellent explosion. For the first time, you saw Riverview move the line of scrimmage, move that neutral zone. Look at this explosion off the ball by the entire front group right there. Great explosion off the ball. Sam Glover, guard.
And the Raiders will get 4 cracks at that big Farrell defensive front here. Neil, what do you do in this situation? You just go right up the middle 3 times? Or
well, that's what you're asking the wrong guy.
Yeah.
That's what I do when I'm on the other 5-yard line there.
Yeah, but you've got Jake, and I know you've talked to him, and they get the bigger, Farrell front.
Jake's blue collar. He's got to have enough confidence, express enough confidence in his people to go 4 downs to get 2 yards.
Dujak on the sneak tries to push his way in there, but Farrell stopped it up a little bit.
And, Falcone, too, as impressed as you have to be with his offense, they make a big deal out of their defense. They have a lot of gimmicks within the school. In addition to that, different coaches take the linemen out to dinner. So it's important for them here. They're going to really play close to the vest because this football team likes to be very, very aggressive on defense and keep the numbers down for the opposing squad.
Well, look there at Farrell head coach Lou Falcone.
And they're going to talk it over.
Yeah, by Falcone. Keith James with us down on the sideline. What's happening down there, Keith?
Well, of course, what's happening is lots of excitement here for this championship game. With me, of course, some of the folks who will be performing here at halftime on Fox Sports. Your name is?
Abby Wingard.
And your name?
Kelly Rodriguez.
And you?
Suzanne Alcorn.
Okay, guys, you've got the halftime show coming up. This is the Riverview Marching Band. Now, your team's obviously put together special plays for the playoffs. How about the band? Special performance?
We've been working on it all week.
All right, we'll find out. We have that, highlights, a look ahead, statistics, all that and more coming up here on halftime on Fox Sports Pittsburgh.
I know I can't wait, Keith. But before we get to that, we've got 2:14 to play here in the first half. It's been a great first half of play. Farrell leading Riverview 14-7, but the Raiders on the doorstep. And it's 2nd and goal inside the 1.
What a great first half we've had here, Sean. The very evenly matched teams, and as you said before, they couldn't be any closer to that doorstep than they are right now. I wouldn't be surprised if they went with the same quarterback sneak again.
Split backs behind Dujak. A wing on the right side, Jack. Going to try Heekins, the fullback, and he's in for the touchdown.
Off the right tackle to the wing side. No problem there at all. I believe you're going to see a double team at the point of attack there, if we can get to see that on the replay.
Calio Ciora, the right guard, and Ethan Gigler, the right tackle, making the blocks for Riverview.
So there's your great double team at the point of attack there to spring Heekins into the end zone. Riverview has made a living with their 2 great ends. When they go double tight, they have 2 great ends to to block that perimeter, and they did a great job there.
And how bad did Heekins want the touchdown?
See
he
him
just
push
buried his
Keegan
head
Bryant
squared
right
up
out of
and
the way, huh?
wham, right in the end zone.
He just pushed Keegan Bryant. He said, this is my touchdown. Heekins, his little brother Lucas, on to attempt the extra point. We've got a whistle.
There's a flag on the play. This will be an interesting call if we go half the distance here.
You go for 2. You take the lead here, Neil, if you go half the distance.
Well, I think Jake realizes, Coach CAPPA realizes there's going to be a lot more points scored in this game. This is certainly not over, so he may take the shot to go for the 2 right now.
He says 1.
Oh, he's
put up the 1 finger.
He's staying 1. Wow, that.
You know, there's no youth.
Yeah, another offsides penalty by Farrell.
I was going to say, Sean, you know, there's really no youth feeder program in the Riverview district. What they do is they play flag football. Their junior high team was very, very successful, but Jake doesn't believe in the feeder program, and with the success he has, it's ironic that he's done so well.
It is unusual.
There are great feeder programs, and there are not so great feeder programs. I think it depends on how well you handle it at the lower levels.
Well, in case I don't want to misunderstand this, they don't play, or you tell me they don't play football in junior high, they play flag football?
No, they play junior high football and then an intramural flag
Jake
football.
changed his mind. They're going for 2 here. Dujak on the keeper, brought down from the backside. A nice play there for Farrell to keep him out of the end zone.
I think that was predetermined. The last play, the reverse pivot and the handoff to Heekins. This time, the reverse pivot, the fake to Heekins, and him following Heekins into the hole to come up a yard short.
Foley made the play from his nose tackle spot. If you'll take a look at the touchdown play coming up here, Neil.
If you'll notice on this, you see the reverse pivot and the handoff to Heekins off right tackle. Very successful. Now notice the similarity in this play right here. Again, the reverse pivot, the fake to Heekins, and Duzak trying to follow him through the hole. Unsuccessful.
And Foley coming up from the backside to rip him down.
And again, it was the nose guard. The point of attack looked to be good. Again, a nice little sequence of plays there. Handing off to Heekins the first time, and then the keeper right behind him.
Nonetheless, the Riverview band awful happy to be in a 14-13 football game here. 2:11 to play here in the first half, with Heekins getting ready to kick it off. That's actually, it'll be Ertlejack kicking off for the Raiders.
We're so used to saying Heekins.
Yeah, everywhere it's a Heekins. They're going to squib it, not let the hope to keep away from a big run back. Ball taken by Marino Harris up front. So about the 37. Take a look at the scoring drive. It's a 9-play drive, 48 yards, only 3:22 taken off the clock. As you saw, Damian Heekins with the touchdown run and a tough touchdown run it was for the Raiders.
And I think Riverview made a point with their team speed also. You know, maybe from top to bottom they don't have the Farrell speed, but at the skill positions, the Riverview kids, as we said in the pregame, can fly, and a couple big runs on the perimeter attributed that scoring drive.
Artie Somerset's back in there at right tackle for the Farrell Steelers as they start off here 1st and 10 at their own 37, and that's big because of Dante Newell having lost him ejected. There's a flag on the play. Gash going deep. Has a receiver. The ball tipped away at the last minute by Chad Bynum.
Bynum got there a little bit late. If that ball would have been thrown another 3 or 4 yards, I think the Farrell receiver had got behind him there.
Yeah, that was Derek Newell who did get behind him, and if only Rennie Gatch could have thrown the ball further, they'd have had a touchdown. But as I mentioned, there is a flag on the play. It would have brought it back anyhow. The penalty.
The motion is going to be the call. It's going to go against Farrell.
Yeah.
And Chad Bynum, you talk about him. He's a sophomore. He's quite a hitter for this Riverview squad. Has 3 interceptions on the year, so he's very capable in one-on-one coverage to come up with the football. He did a good job adjusting to get back on the play.
So it'll be 1st and 15 here for the Steelers. 1:59 on the clock. I guess one thing you want to make sure they do is take some time off the clock here, Neil, in case they don't pick up the first down. They don't want to give Riverview the ball back with much left.
Well, with the amount of time, I'm surprised that Coach Falcone did go through to the air. He has the weapons to be able to run the ball with 2 minutes left in this half, to be able to run the ball down the field. Looks like on this second down play, they took the penalty on this first down play. They've gone to the double tight power I now.
Yeah. You see Kennedy, the tailback, which way they're going to run it. Kennedy to the near side. Stopped up nicely by the Riverview defense. Number 64, Calio Ciora up to make the play.
And what you have here, too, you mentioned earlier what a critical situation it is not to have Newell playing in the football game on defense. It's just important because he's their captain and their right tackle, Mr. Everything, you know, running behind a senior, Neil, 240, and a senior to boot. That's going to hurt you, too, without him.
Absolutely. You can't afford to lose a two-way starter at any point in the season, and Farrell's going to have to deal with that for the rest of this game.
Second and about 17 for the Steelers from their own 30-yard line. Kennedy again, he'll try the left side. Gets back at the original line of scrimmage on the carry.
What a great burst of speed when he hits the hole. Yeah, I'm very impressed with Kennedy's ability to hit that hole.
And you know what? I blew that call. That's Carlos Daniels in there at tailback.
Well, Carlos Daniels, even so. A great burst of speed.
Yeah. Well, and that's the guy we've been hearing about all season long. Playing with he actually had a broken bone in his ankle in the Rochester game. Missed 3 football games. Was playing defense so far in this game. That was his first carry. 3rd and 8 for the Steelers. Daniels is the tailback, and he gets it again. He's not going to pick up the first down. Charlie Steffi made the defensive play for the Raiders.
His ankle certainly doesn't seem to be bothering him right now.
No, not at all. But we're inside 20 seconds to play here in the first half. So if nothing else, the Steelers did basically run the clock out as it ticks down to 10. They may not even have to punt the football here.
I'm not exactly sure either coach wants to play anymore this half.
Number 24, Willie Evans, a tight end, kind of limping a bit as we go to the half. With the score, Farrell 14, Riverview 13. It's been a wild first half of play here at Three Rivers Stadium. Sean Doherty, Neil Gordon, Phil Fontana, and Keith James all here with you on Fox Sports Pittsburgh, bringing you the WPIAL Class A championship game. Keith James, our halftime host, down on the sideline.
Thank you, Sean. With me, Lou Falcone, head coach of the Farrell Steelers. Lou, I would have bet by looking at the first quarter that this was going to be a low-scoring game. I don't think any of us are sure right now.
No, and plus we didn't get in on that second shot down there. If we would have only got in on that second touchdown and gone up by 2, I think things would have been a little bit different. But now we're in a real nail-biter here. We're going to have to hang on. We lost one of our best linemen, if not the best, Bucky Newell. We got to regroup now. We got to regroup and establish our running game again.
Quickly, what do you have to adjust in order to negate the offense of Riverview that seems to have picked up?
Well, you know, we got to make sure Erteljack's covered. Now, we were soft on him on that corner. He beat us deep. That knocked us down big time. You know, we got to watch him. I think we're playing good defense against the run. We got to watch Erteljack on the pass play.
Lou, your kids are full of emotion. We wish them all the best. We'll talk to you after the game.
Thank you very much.
All righty, Lou Falcone going into the locker room with his guys. And, of course, we've got a barn burner. And this is only the first of 4 here on our Fox Sports Championship Saturday. Back with more. Don't go away. Championship Saturday live from Three Rivers Stadium on Fox Sports Pittsburgh. We're only in the first game of our 4 championship games. It's the Class A title matchup between the Farrell Steelers and the Riverview Raiders. These teams with identical records coming in at 10-1 each. And here at halftime, it's 14-13. Only a single point separates these 2 teams. Would you expect any less? It is outstanding. We've seen in the first quarter 1 Farrell team, and I think in the second quarter, a different Farrell team. Farrell appears to be composed, their emotions in control. They seem to have everything going their way as they built an early 6-0 lead, and they were grinding on Riverview. But then, it was a turnover and a quick turn of events with Riverview striking to Ben Erteljack on a 36-yard touchdown pass that tied it. They went ahead in the point after, and then it appears as though the game would go Riverview's way as they kept grinding away. We saw Chico Pinkins from Farrell throw his helmet down in disgust during the timeout, but then he picks himself right up with his injuries and all, picks up a fumble and rambles down near the goal line, which Farrell converts to put them back on top. Riverview comes back, grinds out another series, and I think as you heard the comments from head coach Lou Falcone of Farrell, that nobody's sure how many more points could be scored in this game. but of course, it's about what we'd expect here on a championship Saturday at Three Rivers in Pittsburgh. Halftime, lots of it coming up. Fox Entertainment, we have the bands, of course. We'll have a look at all of the big plays of the first half, and we will have statistics and much, much more on this championship Saturday. So stay with us here on Fox Sports. Saturday rolls along here from Three Rivers Stadium. You're looking at the scoring right now as we stand at halftime of the championship, the Class A championship game. Farrell leading Riverview 14-13. What a contest we have on our hands here. And the AA championship yet to come today. CAPPA and Mars, a tremendous winning tradition for the Quips. They've made, I believe it's 10 trips here to the championship game in their history, 15, something like that. Mars, the Planets, for the first time ever, they will be playing for a AA championship. Then the AAA contest matches Bell Vernon with many weapons against the powerhouse of a AAA team, Blackhawk. And the Cougars are primed for a championship, but Bell Vernon has other thoughts on that one. And we wrap everything up here on Championship Saturday this evening. North Allegheny against Woodland Hills. NA coming into this contest with only a single loss, one blemish on their record. And guess who beat them during the regular season? That's right, the Woodland Hills Wolverines. Going to be a most interesting matchup there. We will have it all for you here on Fox Sports Pittsburgh. We also have for you the halftime entertainment, the smiles, the moms, the dads, the ups and the downs. We'll have the championship presentation at the end of each contest. Much to do and much to talk about as the course of the game rolls along. Highlights coming up in just a couple of moments. Sean Doherty and Bill Fontana and Neil Gordon right now are looking at the stats and they're chatting, and they're getting ready, of course, to provide you with all that information. We have some entertainment to listen to. Out on the field right now, it's the Riverview Raiders Marching High School Band. Let's go out and listen. 14-13. We're at half on our championship Saturday here on Fox Sports Pittsburgh. And, of course, there's a lot of tradition now about the championship games here in Three Rivers Stadium. For 10 years now, these games have been played at Three Rivers Stadium, all four of them, the A, the AA, the AAA, and the Quad A. There is a tradition now, and it means much more than just the game today. And there have been great names that have come through here as well. Many great names out of southwestern Pennsylvania that really, of course, underline the tremendous football tradition. Marino and Montana and Namath and Sweeney and many, many more. We'll find out if some future champions are on the field today. Of course, we won't know that for some time. We do know that there's a great football game going on, so let's go upstairs now to Sean and Bill and Neil and talk about the first half that we've seen and what might lay ahead.
Well, as Keith said it, Neil, we've got some great names going, maybe being made in Zamboro and Dujak, of course, Carlos Daniels, and of course, Jason Kennedy's had a big first half for the Farrell Steelers running the football.
Well, some great individual athletes out here today, Sean, but my impression of the first half, momentum shifts. And we're going to see who comes out in the second half and starts this third quarter and takes over that momentum that's so important.
Your impressions, Bill Fontana, so far?
Well, you know, Sean, I really think the football game is going the way I had expected it. A lot of people said it was going to be a blowout. It really, I don't think, is going to be. And one of the big concerns for CAPPA was the blocking schemes today. He wanted to create some mismatches and confuse Farrell up front, and they've done that. They've also kept their composure. They were here a couple of years ago, and they never lost it, and we have a marvelous football game and a glorious Saturday afternoon.
You talk about it, they had every possibility of losing their composure. Farrell jumped ahead in this football game right off the bat with the first touchdown real early, short drive off the fumble early, and here you see the first touchdown play. Rennie Gash, what a tremendous athletic play. And the knee main was down, as the replay showed earlier, but Daniels just a great run and Farrell into the end zone.
And Coach Gordon knows you don't teach those kind of things. Those just come from gifted, skilled athletes, the ability to ad-lib.
No, I teach those kind of things. I just don't teach them that well.
Yeah. Riverview bounced back, though, with Farrell leading 6-0. Dujak's going to go deep. And a wide-open Ben Erlejack, who just sprinted down the sideline here after the turnover by the Farrell Steelers.
A one-man pattern, a great throw, great catch, great protection.
Gave us a game as it started, and immediately they get it back. Here's a fumble. It's going to be picked up by Chico Pinkins, guy who wasn't supposed to play today.
Got a telephone call, too, from somebody up in Mercer County, and they said you could bet your white socks that Chico Pinkins would be in the lineup.
And he has obviously contributed in a big way for the Steelers, but the Riverview bounces back. Another short drive, and Lucas, or actually that's Damian Heekins, the fullback, taking it in.
Right, nice little power play off right tackle for the 2 or 3 yard score there. Heekins, not to be denied, did a nice job.
And he smelled the end zone there, too. You see him square up. He wasn't to be denied. He wanted those 6.
Pushing Keegan Bryant back into the end zone. We're going to take a break here, and we'll be back with the second half of action at Three Rivers Stadium. It's Riverview and Farrell in the Class A title game. We're in the middle. We're back at Three Rivers Stadium with Farrell leading Riverview 14-13, the Class A championship. We talked about all the stats, all the replays in the first half. Neil Gordon, penalties, big one we haven't brought up.
Well, haven't talked about it. It really didn't lead to either score, but boy, what an effect it had on the field position. Farrell right now, according to my record, 6 penalties for 46 total yards. Riverview on the other side, only 1 penalty for 5 yards. So we're talking about a major shift in field position. I think this game's going to be determined by who has the long field to go and who has the short field to go. Farrell needs to clean up the penalties in the second half.
And as you look at everything else, it's fairly even as we get to the end of the first half. As far as rushing yardage, everything evened out as the way things went. At least 2 turnovers apiece. And time of possession, not much difference there. Passing yardage, of course, all Riverview so far. But Kennedy was 65 yards for Farrell, leading all rushers in this game on 11 carries. And the 1 touchdown, of course, Jason Kennedy, the fullback, turned tailback, back to fullback again. I guess we'll see more of Carlos Daniels here in the second half.
Well, as Coach Falcone mentioned on his way into the locker room, I think he needs to reestablish his dominance on the line of scrimmage, look for the Farrell Steelers to start trying to pound the ball down Riverview's throat again.
Fritz Tamboro leads Riverview with 38 yards on 7 carries and a touchdown, of course, in the game for him. Actually, Heekins had the touchdown. So the one thing I have here is incorrect. But see the Farrell Steelers, they're excited about the second half of play here. And they will be ready to get the football here to start the second half of the game, too, which is important in a game that's going back and forth as this one has so far.
I think Riverview has to be a little bit confident, too. You know, there was a little bit of concern. Could they play with Farrell? Now they know they can play with Farrell.
All right, let's take a final halftime note from our sideline host, Keith James.
The Riverview Raiders with us. Jake, I have to ask you about your second score. You went to go for 2, and you missed that. You think that'll come back to haunt you?
Nothing ever haunts us. That has nothing to do. We made a lot of calls, some good, some bad. I'm not going to, you know, dwell on one point.
Okay, last but not least, what did you change in the locker room? What are we going to see differently out of Riverview in the second half?
Well, we just have to play with a little bit more intensity. We you know, they're there. We know what we have to do. And it's just a matter of winning the battle up front.
All right. Thanks a lot. Good luck to you. We'll talk to you afterwards. There's Jake CAPPA. He's going back to his team. We'll get back with, of course, a second half that should be as exciting, if not more so, than the first half. It's 14-13. Farrell on top. You don't want to go anywhere. We have that much excitement and more coming your way here on Fox Sports Championship Saturday.
Okay, let's take a look at that so far decisive two-point conversion attempt here, Neil. The Raiders just unable to get it into the end zone.
And again, this play was set up by the previous scoring play. I guess if Jake had to do it again, he would have probably gone with the same play. But Heekins was so successful, they just kept the ball. Very difficult play to defense, that quarterback tucking in behind the fullback. And Farrell did a great job, but that remains the difference right now. It's an even game.
I guess as Jake said, too, nothing haunts them. You got to coach that way, I guess, huh?
Well, I don't coach that way. Nothing bothers Jake. Jake's the greatest. He coached this game, I think, the way it's supposed to be coached. We'll get along. We'll do this. We'll do that. I'm a little bit more frustrated and intense at times when I'm on that sideline. I wish I was a little bit more like Jake.
Jake came into the football game very, very loose. He said, Bill, look, we're going out there to play in a game. We're not in awe anymore. We're going to have a lot of fun. And he said, I can tell you this, regardless of if I win or lose, I'm going to have a 24-ounce T-bone steak after the football game. And he did say that.
Well, that's the way really it should be at this level. You wonder, sometimes the pressure doesn't get overblown. I realize it's your job as a head football coach to win football games. But these are kids. They're high school kids, and they're having the biggest time of their life right here this afternoon at Three River Stadium.
Jake is great for high school sports in Western Pennsylvania. The things that Jake teaches to his young men are going to be taught and make these young men successful later on in life, whether they do win or lose. The great thing about Jake is for the past few years, he's been winning more than he's been losing.
Well, Lorenzo Head getting set to kick the football here for the Farrell Steelers to start the second half. Fritz Tamboro, the middleman, in the three-man return setup for the Riverview Raiders, standing at the 15-yard line. Taken by Damian Heekins, the up-back.
Had a nice little wall there to the left side, but ran out of room to the short side of the field. But Riverview has great field position to start the second half.
Number 26, Demetrius Darden, made the play for the Farrell coverage team, knocked him out of bounds. First and 10 for Riverview. Good field position, start off at their own 30-yard line or 34-yard line. Split backs, Tamboro and Heekins behind Justin Dujak, the senior quarterback. Little counter play give. Tamboro has lots of room on the near side. And he's going to take it all the way. I didn't think he had that much room when the play started out. He had the great blocking.
Well, there's no flags on the play. Riverview certainly has gained the momentum this half. It's that counter trade that was so successful in the first half with that backside guard and tackle pulling and leading the way. So a great play, a 70-yard play. As you're going to see on the replay, We saw this play in the first half very successful. A little play action to the right, and here comes that backside guard and tackle getting into their people. And Tamburo, as we said before, I think people underestimate his speed. Once he had that step, he was gone.
And Bobby Pika on the reverse came around the tackle who's playing for the first time starting today. The right tackle, he was the one that threw the key block on the play.
Right here, he is
Watch
the right tackle. Yeah, Bob Pika.
Inside. Little shield block there, and that's all Tamburo needed.
And Tamburo now 8 carries with 104 yards, and that's quite an accomplishment in a championship game, elevating himself to another level.
66-yard chunk will help you do that. Going for 2 again. Dujak trying to dump it off in the last minute there. Damian Heekins, but he falls incomplete. That's twice now they failed on 2-point conversions.
Very similar to Farrell's 2-point conversion. A little play action pass into the corner.
And Riverview leads at 19-14. Back and forth all afternoon here at Three Rivers Stadium in the Class A Championship. Earl Jack to kick it off for Riverview. It's going to be taken by DeMarco Wilder at the 14-yard line for Farrell. Across the 25. Looking for room to the near side. Gets to the 30. Gets the corner almost. He's run out of bounds on the near side by Dave Upball for the coverage team. And a nice return for DeMarco Wilder and the Farrell Steelers.
Well, Sean, let's take one more look at that opening play of the second half to certainly set the momentum. Again, Tamburo to the left on that old counter tray that made the Washington Redskins and their Hogs so famous a number of years back. And Riverview ran as well as the Redskins did.
Yeah, Bob Pika, and I saw Calio Ciora, number 64, with a great block for the Raiders as well on that play. 1st and 10, Farrell at their own 36-yard line, trailing 19-14. Power I set looks like Kennedy back in at the fullback spot, or tailback spot. And he'll get the carry over the right side. Big hole. Great blocking. 15, 17-yard pickup into Raider territory.
The danger of loading. Again, Farrell showing a little bit of Riverview's medicine here. See the left guard pulling on the play. Oh, a nice little seam there. Great break by the running back. And once they get into the secondary, these boys can fly.
Sim Harrison, number 55, with the block for the Steelers. 1st and 10 at the Riverview 48. Power I set to the left this time. 2 tight ends. Senior quarterback Rennie Gash. Carlos Daniels in at tailback, and he picks up 3 yards.
And again, the backside guard for Farrell pulling, leading up through the hole.
And when you see the 2 tights, you know what Farrell's going to do. They're just going to come at you. They have 3 guys in the backfield, want to distribute the ball very, very well. Good lead blocking up front, 4 or 5 yards a clip, important for the Steelers.
Fritz Tamburo, the outside linebacker at 160 pounds, made the tackle for Riverview. It sets up 2nd and 7 for the Steelers, down by 5. Early 3rd quarter. The fullback, Keegan Bryant, inside the 40-yard line. His first carry of the football game.
Snuck him right in there after the plays off tackle to the 2 tailbacks. Sneaked that fullback right up on the inside and caught him by surprise.
Dujak, the tackle from his linebacker spot for Riverview. 3rd and short for the Steelers.
You never hear a center getting that much credit. Great job supplied by Brian Cusick, the senior at 6'1", 270, to pave the path up front.
Doesn't matter how many guys they have lose up front. They are still enormous up there. As you mentioned, Ernie Somerset is back in the Farrell lineup. They give us to Kennedy, and he's down to the 35-yard line. Has the first down and a couple more for the Steelers.
And again, a great athletic ability on the part of Kennedy. Hit at the line of scrimmage and still had the strength, great leg strength to be able to take that Riverview tackler another yard or 2 for the first down.
Jason at 220 pounds, fullback, tailback, and he's just a junior. And also with Rennie Gash, the junior quarterback, this Farrell team's could be loaded again next year, Coach.
Absolutely. Great athletic ability, but I'm impressed with their leg strength. These people have been on the squat racks.
This will give to Bryant his 2nd carry, and they slip him through on the quick opener. Chad Biden made the tackle, but it might have been a touchdown-saving tackle as Bryant just squeezed right through.
I'm looking to see in there, Bill, is that a short trap in there? Are we seeing a guard pulling in there? I'm not sure that's straight base blocking or they're pulling the tackle. or a guard in there. We're going to have to check that out.
There's a combination of two, but they're using straight-ahead power blocking, too. Another thing why Farrell is so successful, they scrimmage Greenville in the first scrimmage of the year, and I don't have to tell you about that football team.
One of the best in that part of the state. Daniels back in the football game, picks up 3, and looks like he has another first down for Farrell. They're just powering it down the field, Neil.
You know, what we expected, again, back to the power play, off left tackle, the backside guard pulling up and through, and that backside tackle that's doing all that pulling is the nose guard that we've talked so much about, James Pulliam, number 56, 5'10", 200 pounds, but boy, great feet.
Something Falcone wanted to do. 2 tight end offense, control the ball on the ground, balance one time over the left side, then over the middle. That's a great offensive attack.
Sure is. Well balanced.
First and 10 Steelers at the 25. It's Bryant again. He's got 8 yards right over the right side of the offensive line. The Steelers behind Somerset and Pulliam are just blowing them off the ball.
And Sean, you said it best. Ernie Somerset, Sim Harrison, and also Brian Kusick doing the job what they got to do to get those backs that yardage.
Nice little change of pace, sending the fullback up the chute here on a real quick hitter.
We were wondering what sort of adjustments they would make at halftime. Gain of 6 on first. It's 2nd and 4 for the Steelers. The tailback Kennedy near the 15-yard line, tackled by Lucas Eakins.
This entire drive has been 3 plays. The power off right tackle with the left guard pulling, the backside guard pulling, the power off left tackle with the right guard pulling, and then we're sneaking that fullback up the chute. 3 plays the entire drive.
Heekins had some room that time, or excuse me, the running back for Farrell, but Heekins did a marvelous job in wrapping him too because he had some carpet to the outside.
And as we mentioned, 220 pounds. Daniels is a load, not an easy guy for Heekins to bring down. Daniels been in there at tailback, Carlos Daniels. The give though to Bryant again. Wide open, and he's inside the 5-yard line. 1st and goal, Farrell.
And again, the fullback quick hitter right up the chute to offset that power off tackle on the left and right. And you'll see it here on the replay, how quick this play does hit. Oh, there's pancakes in there.
And in the lineup, too, for the first time this afternoon is Sterling Austin, the quick tackle, offensive tackle. He did a great job that time getting downfield, supplying some running room.
1st and goal for the Steelers, the same offensive set, wide change it. Carlos Daniels takes it over the left side and gets his first touchdown of the afternoon. And he's had a great season for the Farrell Steelers. 14 touchdowns on the season now for him.
Oh, same play we saw all the way down the field.
But James Pulliam, he's the man that threw the block, the junior at 5'10", 200 pounds. Watch him. Maybe you and I could even have run behind him. Look at the block out front here. He just had nothing but daylight and just danced into the end zone.
Not only is he getting to the point of attack, but he's also getting the block to spring the backs. Great job. Great job.
And even without Dante Newell in there on the offensive line, the Steelers have just blown Riverview off the ball here. The whole drive as they go for 2 here.
I guess we really didn't have to worry about the goalpost in this game.
Following the touchdown. Gash wanted to throw the football, couldn't do it, couldn't run it in either. So the extra point is going to be no good. It's Farrell 20 and Riverview 19, the Class A championship. Back and forth and back again here at Three Rivers. This WPIAL High School Championship is brought to you by Allegheny General Hospital, by Mountain Dew, and by All Sport Body Clenching Fruit Drink. Well, the Farrell Steelers leading at 20-19 with 7:03 to play in the 3rd quarter. Short kick taken by the up back at the 27-yard line. Out to the 39. A nice pickup of about 9 yards on the play. Tackle made by Farrell's Dan Morgan.
Nice little seam up the middle that time. And again, Riverview starts off with excellent field position, pretty close to where they were in the first drive of the second half.
It's nice to have a guy like Ben Erlejack in the up back spot on the kickoff return. For Riverview, he gets it back.
It's nice to have a guy like Ben Erlejack anywhere on the field.
Gonna look there at Brian Cusick, the offensive center, 270-pounder for Farrell. And take a look at the scoring drive. Impressive it was. First and 10, Dujak, counter play, and the Farrell defense was ready for that one. Nobody fooled Jason Kennedy with that fake.
And again, Jason Kennedy can do it on both sides of the ball. He showed a little bit of his defensive prowess right there. Watch this fill by Jason Kennedy. Coming from the linebacker spot.
Kind of like a misdirection play. Actually took a step one way, came back. Kennedy stayed at home from the inside linebacker position, and he made the play. And when you have an athlete like that, him and also Derek Newell and Rennie Gash, it's going to tell you something, why they elevate themselves to another level.
Loss of 4 makes it 2nd and 14. Dujak on the option. Pitch is late, and the ball is loose on the turf. Who has it? I believe Riverview has possession of the football. As you see right there, the pitch man, Fritz Tamburo, did get on the football. Gain of about 2.5 though on the play, and obviously not the play that Jake CAPPA wanted to see.
You know, Jake has started this drive with a little bit of misdirection, I think, trying to take advantage of Farrell's ability to fly to the ball. And on the last play, you saw Kennedy, not only great athletic ability, but great discipline to stay at home.
Ball knocked loose there by Willie Evans, guy playing with a separated shoulder. These Farrell Steelers are putting it all on the line here for the WPIAL championship. They're injured, but they are here, and they are playing hard. 3rd and 11 for Riverview at their own 39-yard line. Dujak wants to go deep. He's got a man in the Alpine, and he's open. And Jack has a first down in Farrell territory. Chico Pinkins in the coverage. It was good coverage, Dale.
Good coverage, a great throw. Again, you'll see a 5-man rush. Both linebackers staying at home, and the protection is excellent. I don't think you can give Dujak that much protection. He looks like a pulling guard when you see him in person, but what a great quarterback. He has all the tools.
Played a fine game so far.
Jack is the big go-to guy, too. Averages 17.2 yards a catch. The money player.
We talked about these teams don't throw the ball very much. 8 times a game, they're throwing it a lot more this afternoon.
Because they're not running it.
Dujak, 1st and 10 at the Farrell 49. Wants to throw it again. He's going deep. Jack's behind her defenders. Oh, my.
A little bit of a post corner pattern by Jack that time. Again, he was behind the Farrell secondary. And again, a great throw. I can't say enough about Dujak. He's putting the ball on the money. That one he missed right off the fingertip.
My mistake. Instead of 20, it was 80. Chad Bynum down there. And he's obviously got great speed to get back there, too, but could not pull the pass in.
Chad Bynum was just lined up as a defensive end. No one touched him. All he did was a fly pattern straight down the field. The ball just a little bit overthrown him, but Bynum has the ability to make the catch, too.
Oh, what a great throw. Great protection. Again, great protection by the Riverview front 5.
2nd and 10. Bynum split right with Jack in the slot. Tamburo on the draw. Couple of yards on the play there.
Didn't fool anybody on that. The Farrell linebackers held their ground and were able to keep that to a short gain.
Sim Harrison, Chico Pinkins, and Carlos Daniels, number 32, the man right there in your picture, made the play.
Kennedy was isolated to the outside. He had enough ability to turn the play back to the inside, and the entire center of the Farrell defense was there to make the stop. So Kennedy did a good job in stopping them from breaking to the outside.
Gain of 2, 3rd and 8 for the Riverview Raiders. Slot man to the right, Bynum split to the top of the screen. The pitch to Tamburo, they're going to try to run for it. Good cut, but he's going to be knocked short. Great second effort, still on his feet. First down, pickup. Fritz Tamburo, a great run for the Riverview Raiders.
Well, Fritz Tamburo has been doing that. The Riverview people have seen that a number of times. You see a replay here. The young man just doesn't stop. He's hit a number of times short of the first down marker, but keeps his legs going. 3, 4, 5 kids hit him right there, and he still bounced to the outside. Had enough drive in those legs to get the first down and keep this drive alive.
Chico Pinkins had to pull him down from behind.
Oh, what a gutsy performance right there. He wanted that first down. He has great vision, too, Sean.
Tremendous. 1st and 10 for Riverview at the 32. Dujak to throw again. Going deep, hasn't run down and out. Out and up, and Jack, his 2nd touchdown catch of the afternoon. Can anybody play defense in this game?
You know, Coach, what a great job that he did on the play, because Bynum actually ran a simple out pattern, but then when he got to the sideline, watch what he does here. He runs the out pattern, he beats his man, then he streaks downfield with a great move. He was wide open.
And what a great throw again. I hate to keep harping on Justin Dujak, but somebody right in his face, he threw that ball going to his back.
32-yard touchdown pass. And Riverview back on top, 25-20 here with 3:52 still to play in the third quarter. These teams we talked about an average 33 a game. We could see that very easily.
Well, 1 if by land, 2 if by air. This game is starting to take on a little bit of personality here.
Raiders to go for 2. Split backs behind Dujak. The give is to Heekins, and Damian is near the goal line, but he's smacked hard. Number 55, Sim Harrison. And number 7, Chico Pinkins on the play for the Farrell defense.
We're going to get another look at this touchdown pass. If you'll notice the pressure put on the quarterback, and he still has the ability to stand in there and throw it under that great pressure.
And when you look at the quarterback, Dujak 5 of 10, 100 yards, and on that play, as perfect as Dujak was in the pocket, and he stood there, the pattern complemented the touchdown.
So it's Riverview 25, Farrell 20. Play here.
We see a 2-point conversion. These teams are having no problem moving up and down the field. They just can't get that last 2 yards on that 2-point conversion. Oh, great penetration on the inside, forced them outside. Ooh, what a great hit.
Yeah, Pinkins with the shoulder stuck right in there.
And Farrell is in a position now where James Pulliam, they're attending to him. He gets up rather gingerly. They can't afford to lose him. But, you know, right away when you look at this football game, it has all the shade of the Aliquippa and Seton LaSalle game last week. It's just a great game to watch. Back and forth, run and shoot. That's coming up here on Fox Sports Pittsburgh. We have a marvelous day of football.
Can't forget Aliquippa and Mars in the AA championship coming up following this one. But we've got more than a quarter of football to go, and obviously a lot of scoring as well. Erdl Jack kicks it off for the Riverview Raiders. DeMarco Wilder fields it at the 15, across the 20, and pushed out of bounds on the near side. Lucas Heekins, they gotta count tackles. He must have 57 here.
No, he's doing a great job. It's Heekins on the one side, and this guy, Jason Kennedy, on the other side. And you're telling me he's a junior?
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? And Heekins, of course, just a sophomore. Take a look at the scoring drive there. Very impressive. 3-11, the 36-yard touchdown catch to end it.
You have to be a bit surprised, too, because here's a football team, Riverview, coming into the contest. They run the ball 80% of the time and throw it 20% of the time. So, Neil, you in the coaching ranks, CAPPA did a great job of adjusting here at second half, seeing what's open, and kind of staying home and playing very effectively.
Well, Bill, I'll get back to that point after this play, but let's get to this first-down play here.
Farrell sends his quarterback Rennie Gash back out there. Another power eye set. Might as well just line it up and run it at him again. Carlos Daniels over the left side by a nice play there. Fritz Tamboro from his outside linebacker spot split the blockers and made the play.
And a little adjustment by Jake CAPPA there in this next drive, too. He covered the guards that time, and when that backside guard pulled, as he had in the previous drive, the defensive tackle followed him down the line of scrimmage, pulled him down from behind.
Gain of about 1.5 yards on the play, and it's going to be second and a real long 8 for the Steelers.
Good point to see if Jake is going to cover those offensive guards for Farrell and try to stop that running momentum they have.
The give is to Keegan Bryant. He's got another quick opener and a big gain on the play, close to first down yardage before Josh Walsh was able to bring him down.
Farrell is so very, very strong up the front with Kuzik leading the pack at center. You know, 270 pounds and a well put together 270 pounds, I might add.
It is a first down for the Steelers at the 33-yard line between the 33 and 34. And the offensive set, 2 tight ends, power eye, wide change it. Except Jason Kennedy replaces Daniels at the tailback spot for this play. He gets the ball, and he gets stopped. There's a surprise for a change. Calio Ciora made the play, along with number 74, Ethan Gigler, 215-pound sophomore for the Raiders.
And Sean, as far as I can see, it's amazing. This entire second half, Farrell has run 3 plays. The fullback on the quick hitter right up the middle. The power off right tackle, the power off left tackle with the backside guard pulling up into the hole.
You see Kennedy approaching 100 yards here this afternoon. 2nd and 8 for the Steelers. Bryant again with the quick little handoff over behind the center and guard. Pick up of about 4. Dan Del Don on the tackle.
Also wanted to bring up to you, the big man that I have seen is Sterling Austin. This offensive line, he is anchoring. They're doing a lot of pulling and stunning. Cusick, Sim Harrison, offensive line up front for Farrell, doing their homework.
Controlling the line of scrimmage from tackle to tackle right now.
3rd and 5 for the Steelers, a big play. 1:36 to play this game. Can't afford to give the football back to Riverview the way they've been moving it. Rennie Gash on the option. We haven't seen him run it for a while. He has the first down and a little bit more across the 45-yard line. TJ Skillen, Ron Zanella on the play for the Riverview defense.
Nice little change of pace there by Farrell. Pulled it out and brought it out onto the perimeter with a Gash who in his own right is a great athlete who can make things happen on at the corner.
We set it right at the 45-yard line. The Steelers 1st and 10. Trailing by 5, 25-20. Riverview Raiders lead it. Class A championship here on Fox Sports. Carlos Daniels in at tailback. Kennedy's a left halfback, and there he gets the carry on the counter play, and he's into Riverview territory.
And again, the power off the right tackle. I keep harping on it, but Farrell keeps running it and running it very well. Left guard, the two guards for Farrell, very impressed with their quickness to get to the point and up through the hole. And again, you're going to see the left guard from Farrell down the line of scrimmage, picks up a missed man there.
Watch what happens with Jason Kennedy. He just lowers his shoulder, and you know, if you're going to hit him, he makes you pay for it. He delivers the hit.
It's fullback on fullback as Damian Heekins had to come off a block to make the tackle for Riverview. 2nd and 4 for Farrell. They give us to Bryant, the other fullback. They got so many big backs on this Farrell offense. They're just almost impossible to stop. Charlie Steffi able to make the stop on that play for Riverview, but a gain of about 3 yards. It's going to set up 3rd and 1 for the Steelers.
And Bryant, 205 pounds in his own right. So, you know, some of these people that are in the backfield for Farrell are actually bigger than the defensive front for Riverview. A little bit of a mismatch here.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter of play. We haven't talked about the size, but Daniels brings 215 himself. We're at the end of 3 quarters. It's Riverview leading Farrell 25-20 in your Class A championship. We've got a lot more in the final 12 minutes to come. 3 quarters of the way through the Class A championship. Sean Doherty, Neil Gordon, and Bill Fontana here at Three Rivers Stadium with you. And as you see, the Riverview Raiders leading Farrell 25-20. It's been great for 3 quarters. Got to see another quarter of it, guys.
Well, these two teams are certainly kicking off a great day of WPIAL playoffs. It can't get any better than this. 12 minutes to go. The game's up in the air.
Big play for the Steelers. 3rd and less than a yard. Junior quarterback Rennie Gash under center. He's to his tailback Kennedy, and Kennedy's got about 8. Forget about less than a yard. Kennedy probably going over 100 yards with that carry. Ben Ertlejack finally making the tackle for Riverview.
100 yards on 17 carries.
Look at the 220-pound fullback made tailback for this afternoon, just pushing his way through the Riverview defense. The clock might end up being the biggest factor in who wins this football game, Neil, the way things are going offensively for both teams.
He who scores last.
Fullback Bryant. Charlie Steffi on the play.
I am so very impressed, Sean. You know, we believe so much in strength, and leg strength is really the key. The upper body stuff is nice, but the leg strength is the key, whether you're blocking on offense or running the ball. And Farrell's backs, you know, good-looking bodies, strong kids, but I'm so very impressed with their leg strength.
Farrell's kind of rearranged their backfield. Carlos Daniels set up the right halfback spot on this play with Kennedy, the tailback, and Kennedy gets the carry. Pick up about 7 yards, down to the 32. Justin Dujak on the tackle along with number 50, Dave Upfall, and number 49, Josh Walsh for the Raiders defense.
Big play needed by Riverview here for Farrell's taking the momentum, controlling the line of scrimmage, and you don't want to be into a fourth quarter championship game and not have control of the line of scrimmage.
Lou Falcone preaches, too. They talk about the winning tradition at Farrell. They preach that. An athletic tradition, it's so rich, their school, with a history of quality athletes.
It is that. We give to the fullback. That's Bryant, and he's close to first-down yardage, but I think he's a little short. Nice play on the play for Dujak, the linebacker, to come up and get a hold of him early.
And again, look at this offensive line. We're talking about Kennedy and all these people, but this offensive line, look at their explosion off the ball.
Looks like Ernie Somerset got a bit of an armful of a defensive lineman there for Riverview, but no call, no flag. It's going to be 3rd and short here. I think they're going to measure. And we have an injured Farrell Steeler on the line. Look at the size of Ernie Somerset. He's a junior, folks.
And again, Ernie Somerset, you know, it's incredible how well he moves.
330 pounds.
You know, when Jake CAPPA talks about heights and weights, he always says that he adds an extra 10 or 15 pounds onto his player. He says the players, he thinks that Farrell subtracts 10 or 15 from their players.
And the coach on the field is Brian Sanders. I don't know if you remember him or not, but back in 1976, he was the fullback for Farrell when they won the WPIAL championship. The big guy, he's the enforcer, and what a tradition, what a player he was at Farrell High School.
Basketball and football tradition, it's just a sports tradition from a sports-mad town, basically, in the Steel Valley of the Shenango River.
And you know, Neil, I think geographically in Mercer County, they get a bit upset because Sharon and Farrell are very good football teams. You know, they're not in the Pittsburgh area. But I think that Falcone is as important as McCluskey used to be in basketball. He's that good. A city councilman for 20 years. They love him. His wife teaches there. He's just a pillar of strength, and you know that he bleeds blue and gold.
See the injured Steeler there, James Pulliam, and he's second time I think we've seen him limp off in this game. Not limp off, but limp off in this game. You know, he's an important guy to the Steelers.
On both sides of the ball, he's had a fantastic game so far.
4th and short, they've made it every time they've tried it. And there's Gash on the keeper. He's got the first down and more, pushing his way into the defensive backfield. Nice play for Ben Ertlejack to be able to hold him and keep him from taking it all the way to the end zone.
For a 4th and 1 situation, from Riverview's point of view, who do you stop first? 3 backs and a quarterback.
Randy Gash has only run it a couple times here in the second half. He's had a big season running the football for this team.
And again, behind that offensive line, both guards in the center doing a great job of controlling the middle of the field.
Key play for Rennie Gash when they beat Aliquip in overtime early in the year. He ad-libbed. Everyone was covered in overtime, and he kind of just lifted the ball right through.
Little shovel pass was completed, and the Steelers did advance. Carlos Daniels on the carry there.
And again, if you catch a replay on this one, just show you the great leg strength that I continue to harp on here. Hit in the backfield and ends up getting positive yardage.
Yeah, Justin Dujak, you see him blitz through the hole. Makes
right
the hole hit early, and look at him just get pushed backward by Carlos Daniels. Biden has to climb on to help bring him down.
Now he had to take him about 10 or 12 yards.
Dujak always has a knack around the football. He recovered 8 fumbles on the year and also has 2 interceptions. So he plays well defensively as well offensively.
Yeah, the great arm we've seen. 2nd and 9 for the Steelers. At the 21. Kennedy on the pitch. Burst through a crack, just explosive. As big as he is, that first step off the cut there, Neil, just very impressive.
Well, I think it was had all the intentions of being a sweep to right across the right end side, and great plant and a cut back inside the block.
Take a look at it here.
No, this is a toss sweep to the right all the way. There's the cut I was talking about. Find that little crease in daylight there for a big gain.
And he put the hit on Charlie Steffi. Charlie Steffi gets credit for the tackle, but he ended up on his rear end.
We'll give him half credit for that.
Okay. 3rd and 5 for the Steelers. 4 down territory at the 18. Gash on the keeper. Runs into his big man, Ernie Somerset. You don't want to do that.
No, that's not exactly a person you want to run into. You're not going to get a lot of movement regardless of your leg strength there. But a great play action. I thought the fullback had the ball on the quick dive. You're going to see They've been hitting them and hurting them so bad with that fullback up the middle. There's the little play action fake to the fullback up the middle, and Gash keeps it on the dive option. And a nice play there again.
Yeah, Ben Erlejack, the flanker, playing solid on the defense as well, making the play.
And we'll give Ernie Somerset a little bit of that credit, too.
Big call in the football game now, Sean. We're getting late down to payoff time, and it's 4th down and a long 6.
The 15th play of this drive. Steelers need a first down or a touchdown. They'll take that. The pitch. And Daniels is going to weave his way down inside the 10 to the 5. First and goal, Farrell.
And another great cut. Another great cut. The play was stretched out well by Riverview. Daniels just planted that foot and came right back inside. You're going to see a great cut again, this time to the left side instead of the right.
Not only that, to come into this game playing after a broken foot at heel, are you really at 100%? Well, he looks it to me right there. He carries the ball with such authority, has 13 touchdowns coming into the game.
And the Steelers have not been stopped on 4th down in this game. First and goal at the 5. You're not going to see anything different here. 16th play of the drive coming up. 2 tight ends. Power eye set. Daniels is the tailback. Little trouble with the snap, but he gets the handoff, and Daniels in for his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. Make that 15 touchdowns in the season, and he missed 3 games. Carlos Daniels, the Farrell touchdown, and the Steelers back ahead with 6:49 to
Almost
play.
a critical turnover there by Farrell. For the first time this afternoon, or this morning, I should say, a fumbled exchange between the quarterback and center, but that offensive line took Riverview off the ball.
You see a happy Carlos Daniels. And why not? With 6:49 to play in the football game, his team is back ahead, 26-25. Those missed extra points haunting Riverview.
Watch the fumbled exchange right there. Screwed up the timing a little bit in there, but again, that offensive line is taking the Riverview people off the ball.
And the word has to be a championship team, composure.
And Daniels, he dragged 2 guys into the end zone with that run. Steelers go for 2. Daniels gets it again, and he's got to push a couple more than 2 that time. Heekins, Biden hanging on. It's no good. TJ Skillen, the man at the bottle, to make the play. But Farrell's ahead. Let's get another look at the replay here of the extra point attempt, or is this the touchdown? That's the touchdown. You see the missed extra point. Watch Daniels drag Biden into the end zone for the touchdown. Did not get it on the extra point attempt, however. And we've got us a 1-point game.
Sean, we had mentioned before a while back, whoever has the ball last looks to be the eventual champion, and things are playing that way as we go to the latter part of the 4th quarter now. Riverview's turn.
Sean, very methodical ball control, 78 yards, 16 plays, 8 up, 903, but Farrell very impressive, 4 of 5 on 4th down.
There's a shot of Carlos Daniels. It's great to see him back and healthy. Of course, I'm not speaking from the Riverview side of the side.
Hey, he's not in there on defense here. 1st and 10 for the Raiders at their own 35-yard line, maybe giving them a bit of a rest. Erlejack on the carry, and he's strung out nicely. A good play for the Farrell defense. Jason Kennedy with the big hit. Lamar Claiborne helping out as well.
Seems to be an instant replay. Jason Kennedy Jason Kennedy doing a fantastic job. A very disciplined linebacker. I'm impressed with his discipline. Watching the replay here. Does a nice job of flowing down the line of scrimmage and shedding the block. And when it comes right down to it, he and Claiborne make the tackle for actually no gain, loss maybe.
It's Riverview out of their own power eye set, and Dujak's going deep. Lucas Eakins snuck him behind the Farrell defensive backs, but the pass a little bit too long.
And again, the Farrell secondary beat by a step or 2, and Dujak's ability to get the ball there again, right off the fingertips of number 1, Lucas Eakins, who's only a sophomore.
Yeah, Lamar Claiborne, the sophomore safety and sometime running back for the Steelers, the fastest man on the team. They didn't think anybody could get behind him. Somehow Lucas Eakins did there.
Jake CAPPA also very excited. If you think that the well is dry, there are a lot of underclassmen. He's more excited, I think, about next year's football team.
Well, he certainly has cause to be.
3rd and 10. Erlejack split to the far side. Split backs behind Dujak. It's a drop played at Tamboro, and the Steelers read it nicely.
And again, it's that number 9 coming in to make the play. Tamboro broke the first tackle, but couldn't get away from number 9.
Jason Kennedy
doing it again, doing it every play.
4th and 9 for Riverview. They're going to have to punt the football here with 5.5 minutes to go in the game, or will they? I guess they have to, Neil, but there seems to be a little bit of a delay here before getting this play started. What do you do if you're Jake? You're not sure of getting it back?
Well, I think it's a little bit too early to take a chance now and put all your eggs into one basket, but
he's going for it. They're 2 for 2 on 4th down so far in the football game. Dujak with split backs behind him. Earl Jack to the top of the screen.
Oh.
Blitz. And Farrell made the play and maybe the ball game. Marino Harris with the sack.
Marino Harris has been used at linebacker spot, came untouched off Riverview's left side, and you see on the replay a clear shot at Duzak. Duzak didn't have a chance.
Very simply a blitz there. Marino Harris read the snap count. He was in the backfield almost immediately. Good job. He gets an A for the effort.
And again, give a little bit of credit to nose guard James Pulliam too. You saw the left guard for Riverview double down on the nose guard that freed up that spot for the linebacker coming. So just a combined effort by the front people for Farrell. Boy, what a big play. Riverview needs a big stop.
Real strong defensive call.
Absolutely.
Bit of a gamble that made the play. 5 minutes to go in the game. Farrell with the football inside the Riverview 30. Leading 26-25. 2 tight end, Keegan Bryant. First down. Carey picks up a solid 4.
Well, this is gut check time for Riverview now. They need to contend with these big backs from Farrell, who I'm sure the toll is starting to be taken with them pounding and pounding the entire game. So gut check time for Riverview.
Another tackle for Charlie Steffi.
And I watched Billy Mercurio. He was the great nose guard for Farrell last year, and I thought with losing him, this Farrell team can't be as good. They are, my friend.
Oh, my. You know, Manessa wanted another crack at them this season and didn't get it. To give there again to Bryant on 2nd down for another 2-3-yard pickup.
Ryan Cusick also.
Zach and Glover making the tackle. Yeah.
Yeah, but the offensive line, as Neil said earlier, has done a great job. You know, they played Southern Columbia for the state championship last year. In Southern Columbia, I think they were disoriented the whole game. Not only did they see strength, they never saw so much speed. And all the game, even though the game was only 6-0, Southern Columbia knew that they played against a powerhouse of a football team.
Rennie Gash and the Steelers, 3rd and 4. At the 24. Give us to Daniels, the tailback. He pushed his way through 5 tackles on that play to get the first down for Farrell. Lucas Eakins had to make the play.
There's been so many situations that have kept repeating themselves and repeating themselves. And the one thing that the Riverview coaches will look at when they see this film, missed tackles. And again, is it the great running ability of the Farrell running backs or some poor tackling on Riverview's part? It's hard to say. But that's a big first down right there. Well, it looks to be a first down.
They're going to measure,
the points. I mean, the chains.
And, you know, Carlos Daniels, he's the best player Division I-wise. Wisconsin is looking at him. He broke his ankle in the 8th game of the season, and he rushed for 856 yards. No cast. Look at his ability to cut back today, and the power is just unreal.
It is amazing. And to follow up on the point I was trying to make about Menneson, they wanted to, after coming here and getting beat by Farrell in the final last year, they thought, well, we get him next year. You talked about the nose guard they lost. Well, the Farrell Steelers, every bit as good as last year's team.
I'm looking at this roster. I think there are only 10 or 11 seniors on the entire Farrell squad.
It's amazing. And there's so many sophomores on the Riverview squad. It's like 3/4 of the squad. So both these teams, great chances to be back again next season. Bryant on the first down carry. Tackled by Charlie Steffi. Pickup of about 3 on the play, and the clock ticks down. Under 3 minutes to go in the football game. Farrell leading by a point.
Great success by Farrell in the second half. We can almost picture or hear what Coach Falcone's halftime talk was. We're going to go out there and do what we do best, dominate the line of scrimmage, and they've done that.
And the Riverview Raiders have taken a timeout here with 2:46 to play. They've got to come up with something defensively to get it back and get in this game. The WPIAL High School Championship is brought to you by Lennox, by Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, and by U.S. Air. Well, it's the Farrell Steelers 26, the Riverview Raiders 25, 2:46 left on the clock. Farrell has it 2nd and 8 at the 17 of the Riverview Raiders. What can the Raiders do? Everybody in the line of scrimmage here, Neil.
There's 11 people in the box.
Jason Kennedy is going to run right through them over the right side. Close to first down yardage at the 10.
Well, there's an advantage and a disadvantage to putting those 11 people in the box. The advantage is to stop the run. The disadvantage is if you break through that front line, there's nothing but pay dirt, and Kennedy's making some great cuts.
That's really something, too, to come up to the line of scrimmage, Neil, and see 11 guys and say, that's all right, we're going to run it anyhow.
I saw 11 guys last year, 15 games. I fortunately had the horses that Farrell's showing right now.
How about this guy, Lou Falcone, too? 1980, the head football coach, 145, 46 and 5, 7 conference titles, state championship in 95, state runner-up in 90, district championship. I mean, we can go right down the line. Not only that, his wife teaches in the school district. His daughter is a cheerleader, and she was the homecoming queen this year. Lou Falcone, just a great job. And on the other
his
side...
son's a defensive back. You left that out there.
I know, I missed that.
How do you miss that? But just to pull your chain a little bit, but you're right. I mean, what an influence he has been.
His winning percentage is .729, and I believe he played his football at Edinburgh. He was a tough little cookie, too, but he loves Farrell, and the people in Farrell love him, too.
Well, his team appears to be on their way to another Class A championship. It would be the school's 6th WPIAL championship ever, and their 2nd Class A title in a row. They won the Class A title their first year in Class A, in fact, back in 1986. After having played in the other district, there's a look at Jake CAPPA. 3rd and real short here for Farrell to give to the fullback, Keegan Bryant, and I believe he has the first down pickup. D-Jack made the tackle, but Bryant does have the first down carry inside the 10-yard line. And now what's left is just run the clock out for the Farrell Steelers.
Well, I think so. And again, we keep going back to it. A dominance by both guards in the center, up the middle, and the fullback took it that time. The first down, I think.
Well, we jumped the call a little bit. It is not a first down. It's 4th down for Farrell. And this obviously would be the game for the Riverview Raiders, trailing by 1 here with 2:15 to play in the game. This play right here, Neil Gordon.
And this brings up the 4th down situation for Farrell. They are 4 for 5 at this particular time. Riverview needs a big play right now.
That they do. Farrell has really taken this game away from them in the second half by time of possession, almost double, 15 minutes to 8 minutes here in the half, holding on to the football, and has really kept Riverview's offense off the field.
Sean, that's my kind of game. Yes. You know, as long as you have the ball, the other team, with the weapons, Erdelcheck, Tomboro, and those people, but they have not been on the field much in the second half. They've certainly made the big plays, but haven't had the opportunity to make a lot of big plays. Riverview hasn't had the ball.
And to be real specific, the 4th quarter really has belonged to Farrell. They have played power football, just run right at you, stop us, line 9 and 10 guys up.
Lots of options here to run the football. Who do you give it here, Neil?
Any of 4.
Thanks.
Any of 4.
Thanks. Rennie Gash, the quarterback. He'll take it himself. He gets the first down with ease. And that's going to be the football game in the 2nd straight WPIAL championship for the Farrell Steelers.
And again, Rennie Gash, as they've done the whole game, broke 2 tackles at the line of scrimmage and got that ball all the way down to the 5-yard line before he finally hit the ground. First down looks bad for Riverview.
And, your heart has to go out for Jake
barring
CAPPA.
catastrophe. So far, just looks bad. Go ahead.
I mean, Jake CAPPA, he is everything to the school district. He loves his job there, the people in the community. He told me before the ball game, too, Sean, he wasn't concerned of winning the game for himself. He wanted to win the game for his community and for his school. I just think that he was a very personal guy, and he's going to be back again.
Oh, there's no doubt. Jake does wonders for Western Pennsylvania football. He's great for the kids.
First and goal at the 5. Power eye. Keegan Bryant gets the call, and he's stacked up at the line. The clock ticks. Ethan Gigler on the play to make the tackle for Riverview. Under a minute and a half to play, as you see in the corner of your screen. Rennie Gash, the junior quarterback.
Well, Sean, with 4 plays the second half, off right tackle, off left tackle, the fullback up the middle, and while the quarterback sneak and one or two options.
It's a simple game,
Keep it simple. It's very simple. And the clock ticks down to 1 minute.
There's basically nothing the Riverview can do. No timeouts remaining. So Farrell will just run the clock out. Power I said again, we're going to get a delay of game penalty, I believe, against the Steelers, but I don't think they're really worried about that.
That might even been a on-purpose delay of the game. I'm not exactly sure Farrell wants to score here, to be quite honest.
Take nothing away.
Riverview.
Take nothing away from Riverview, too. Their conference, the past 3 of 6 years. Also, 3 years in a row in the semifinals. That has to tell you something.
We've talked about the youth of both these teams. You could see another Riverview Farrell final next season right here at Three Rivers Stadium.
Two very, very well-coached squads, a lot of young players, a lot of good senior leadership. That's why they got here in the first place.
It's an amazing performance here for the Farrell Steelers. Daniels out on the wing. Gash just going to kneel down and run the clock here. We're under 45 seconds to play in the game.
I think Lou Falcone's showing his class right here, too. He appreciates what Jake CAPPA's boys have done and the effort they put forth. Why bother pounding another touchdown in?
Yeah, it looked real early in this football game like Farrell just might take it to him and grab this championship and run right out the gate with it early. Riverview responded and made quite a football game of it.
And, you know, things have changed now as we go into the 90s now. The WPIAL, that's the big dance, and Ace and his crew, they do a great job. But now, Farrell smells that state title. They'll have to play Cambridge, Spings, Mashannon Valley, the winner who's playing this weekend, next week for the right to get to Altoona.
That's going to be the final play of the game. Rennie Cash, the victorious quarterback of the Farrell Steelers, have won the Class A championship. Lou Falcone, Jake CAPPA.
There's two young men that, as I had mentioned before, have done wonders for Western Pennsylvania football. I know it's difficult for Jake right now, but he certainly needs to be very, very proud of his young men, as is Coach Falcone. Great game to kick off the day.
We've got a great one coming up with Aliquippa and Mars in the AA championship coming up soon right here on Fox Sports Pittsburgh. We're not finished here yet this afternoon with this Class A title game. We'll be going down to Keith James a little bit later for some post-game interviews, as well as for the celebration and the awarding of the championship trophy. But in fact, we'll be back to do that in just a second. Sean Daugherty, Neil Gordon, and Bill Fontana with the Class A final. What a great football game. The Farrell Steelers, Class A champions of the WPIAL for 1996. Their second win in a row in this classic matchup, beating the Farrell Steelers 26-25. Sean Daugherty, Neil Gordon, and Bill Fontana back with you at Three Rivers Stadium as the Steelers continue their celebration on the field. What a football game it was, guys. A great performance by 3 injured Farrell Steelers. Chico Pinkins, Willie Evans, and Carlos Daniels. We didn't even know if they were going to play today.
Well, they certainly did play. There's no doubt about that. These guys came to play, and what a great performance. And again, I keep re-emphasizing, great leg strength. But how about that offensive line for Farrell? It made no difference who was carrying the ball. The holes were there.
And yet, with the domination, still just a 1-point victory. A solid game for the Riverview Raiders as well, Bill.
Well, you know, if you ask me who gets the stars, very simple. It's Carlos Daniels, #1, and the offensive line had to be #2. Farrell in the fourth quarter, when they needed to, your kind of football. When I watched you last year in Altoona, they did what you did. They just ran it right at them.
And again, the Riverview offense, so potent. How do you stop the Riverview offense? Don't give them the ball. Keep them on the sideline. That's what Farrell was able to do in the second half today.
What a football game. You talk about Justin Dujak. This is a team that does not throw the football well, or much, I should say. They certainly throw it well, and he had a tremendous game today with the long touchdown passes. Arnold Jack, Bynum getting open a few times. What a game.
And Farrell certainly has cause to celebrate. What a great game today for these young men.
How about that guy right there, Jason Kennedy, #9. Great linebacker as well as a solid fullback, tailback, whatever you want. He'll do it, Coach.
Did he make any tackles today, Sean?
No.
I'm not sure I recall his name
One
at
or
all
two.
today.
And, you know, Farrell's so rich in tradition. You know, I was going to tell you, they clone their running backs there. It doesn't matter. They just keep coming at you.
I'd like to find that mold. I really would.
And actually, just following the lead, Jason Kennedy has been picked as the Pepsi player of the game here in the Class A championship from WPIAL.
And that young man right there, he very easily could have gotten the player of the game on either side of the ball. He was fantastic from beginning till end.
Over 100 yards rushing, numerous tackles from the Farrell defense. Jason Kennedy, and also the first touchdown of the game.
First touchdown of the game on a great athlete. Like Bill said before, I'm not exactly sure you teach that stuff. You're born with that. He's got all the goods.
Not only that, you have to take your hats off to the players from Riverview High School. I know as a young boy, I wasn't athletic enough to play football. And from the time I was 6 or 7 years old, my dream was to be on that field. So you have two great football teams that were there, and a dream comes true for some, but you still say, hey, I was at the big show. It was a heck of a football game.
Yeah, the scary thing to me, I was thinking back about Jason Kennedy, one more play about him, he's just a junior. Talk about the world, you know.
And again, flip it to Jake CAPPA and the Riverview boys again to Bill. What a great effort they put today. The Skillins, you know, we talked about Earl Jack and Tambora and Jack, but how about the Skillins and those people that just played an outstanding game? So there has to be a loser, but there certainly isn't a loser on that field today.
Well, the Class A championship could not have been a bigger or better show here this afternoon at Three Rivers Stadium. Farrell beating Riverview 26-25. We've got a lot more football here for you coming on Fox Sports Pittsburgh. Stay with us.